Right, hello everyone. I think the internet is working. Hi. Hi, I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric on here in Twitter. And today we're all going to be playing a game of Trophy Dark. Um, I'm going to go through and tell you a little bit about that game, and then all these lovely people that are playing with me are going to get the chance to tell you about themselves, tell you about their character, and then we'll get into things. So, Trophy Dark is a game that was written by Jesse Ross and published by Gauntlet. It is a game of... The Trophy Dark version is a game about individual incursions, one-shots where a group of doomed treasure hunters essentially makes a trip into some kind of hostile environment. A lot of the times there's like a forest or a swamp. Today we'll be going into an elegant, abandoned palatial estate. But the point of the game is that the environment is hostile. It does not want people there. And over the course of the game, our treasure hunters will be losing parts of themselves, body and mind, until they are claimed as trophies of the environment, essentially. It is a game that I have seen described as play to lose, not in the sense that it's not going to be fun for anyone, but in the sense that your character's probably doomed, so if they're going out, let's go out in as fun and magnificent a way as possible. And just kind of embrace that. So what I will do now is I'm going to go around, give everybody a chance to tell us about themselves, and then after that we'll dig a little bit into the rules of the game and get started. Echinorlax, do you mind starting us off?
Sure, can do. I'm Echinorlax. You can find me on the internet mostly playing TTRPG games and streaming some computer games and writing about mostly also TTRPG games on Twitter. That's all.
That's plenty. That's great. Thank you. Jay, how about you, bud?
Hi, I'm Jay. I stream on my own channel as well as on tabletop games over on the Blackfeather Guild. And yeah, you can find me Tuesdays, Saturdays on the Blackfeather Guild and Mondays, Thursdays on my own channel.
Awesome. Leland, tell us about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Leland / Leopold the Just. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at the same handle. I'm a social media consultant for a number of different TTRPG and film companies, and I play a lot of tabletop RPG games online. My schedule is relatively full now, which is about to kind of free up a bit, but of course I'm, looking to fill it right back up. But anyway.
All right, and then Drakku. Is it Drakku or Drakku?
It's Drakku, but that's okay. I hear it pronounced all different kinds of ways. So I'm Drakku. I play all kinds of video games. I stream over here on Twitch pretty much every day. I keep my weekends free, though, for D&D and the occasional one-shot during the week. Never played this before, so I'm very excited.
Yes, I think that is going to be a highlight of today, because I don't think anybody at the table has played it before, so this is going to be fun. So, to tell our players and the audience a little bit more about the game, everything in Trophy is done through D6 rolls. We have our D6s broken up into what we call light and dark dice. And essentially, they get rolled anytime that our characters are acting in a risky situation. Then a risk roll happens. You get one light dice if your character's occupation or background at any way has given you a skill that would help you out in that situation. Now, if that doesn't happen, that doesn't mean you don't get any dice, because you can also take one light dice for accepting a devil's bargain, which is something that both myself and the other players at the table can offer you. It's essentially something that is going to be bad or complicate things regardless of whether your roll is successful or not. So one example that we gave of this is, say that you're in the forest and you're trying to separate yourself away from some scary forest monster, and you've got like a torch in your hand, and you're kind of waving it around to try and get them to back off. A devil's bargain in that situation might be that whether you're successful or not in getting the creature to back off, the forest is going to be alight. The fire is going to spread. And accepting a devil's bargain from anybody at the table gets you an extra light dice to roll. Now, you can also supplement your rolls with a dark dice, which the use of a dark dice indicates that you are willing to risk your body or mind in this roll. And if you fail the roll, then there are obviously consequences to that. A 1 through 3 as your highest number on a roll means that things are going to get worse. Things did not go well. A 4 or 5 means that things went okay, but there's going to be a consequence. And a 6 is you succeed, you tell me how you did so. If you're unhappy with your roll, you can add an extra dark die, and re-roll all of it. So you can keep adding on dark die to things, unless your highest roll is your dark die. At that point, you're stuck. So if you get like a 1, 2, and a 3 on your dark die, then things are bad and you cannot make them better. Now, the stat that we worry about in this game is called Ruin. And the Ruin is an indicator of essentially the grip that the environment has on the characters and their humanity. The Ruin can go up to 6, and once it hits 6, the character is no longer themselves. They have become a trophy of the land, and either they die in that way or they become a part of the environment and potentially a threat. Now, its Ruin will climb throughout the game typically. Once you hit 5 Ruin, there is a feature where you can essentially make a reduction roll to get your Ruin back down to avoid hitting 6. Reduction rolls have to be triggered by doing something that either helps the environment or sabotages your party, so there are consequences to that, obviously. But yeah, I think that is all of the basics that we need for right now. How about if everybody would mind going around to tell us a little bit about your characters, kind of your past, your occupations, what maybe you're good at, and let us know if you took any rituals. Rituals are essentially a magic mechanic in the game. It's an arcane mechanic that taking one increases your initial risk by 1 for each one that you take, or initial ruin. So you start out more ruined for having these abilities. And anytime that you roll using one of these, there has to be a dark roll involved. So there's always an option that your ruin will go up. So why don't we go around in the same order? And Echinorlax, tell us a little bit about your character.
I will be playing Loran. They are. Let's start with class. No, there's no class. They are impoverished noble that lend their skills as sellsword in many battles. That gives them familiarity with weapons, tactics, defense, and athletics. They are tall, lanky, of hard to guess age, androgynous person. They are rather quiet and, well, secretive.
All right.
They are secretly trying to build a bank, sort of, build the power base and money necessary to exact revenge on enemies of their family, on host Torvald. And the ritual I've picked is Bind. I've picked 1, so that puts me at Ruin 2, right?
So that puts you, yep, it's if you took 1 ritual to start with, you were at Ruin 2.
Well, feels like halfway there, almost.
All right.
So that's pretty much all.
Perfect. Jay, do you want to tell us a little bit about, is it Desan or Desan?
It's Desan.
Desan.
So Desan is not impoverished, but let's say, excommunicated noble. They were kicked out of their previous court, and they have nothing to really speak of in terms of properties or tithes or like any titles whatsoever, and they're trying to get that back. They're trying to buy back the estate that was taken from them. So they are someone who went on a lot of hunts as a young individual, and then as growing up, they became kind of the hunts master. So they're very familiar with trappings and animals and how they move around. I've also chosen the ritual of, I think it was Inhabit. Yes. So I have met Ruin 2.
All right. Love it. Love starting out with that Ruin higher. Leland, tell us about Brayzen.
All right. Brayzen is a a mooch, a schmoozer, if you will, from what I can tell. I don't know if I'm interpreting. I didn't make this character. I didn't have time. So our lovely GM here made it for me. So I'm just sort of interpreting that. If I'm doing that wrong, just let me know.
I just picked some. I just picked some options. How they act and how they use those are totally up to you.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, all right. It's because it says here my occupation is a procurer, skilled in chase, laws, and lies. So I imagine that Brayzen acquires illicit goods for noble people of different statures, and basically and does certain things for them. Lends an ear, willing to keep secrets, and maybe even bury some bodies. Who knows? And then. And the background of this character, which fits perfectly, it says proximity to power, skilled in flattery. So I imagine, by working around all these noble people, my characters come to refuse his status as a lowborn, is basically set out to gain status among these wealthy people, regardless of his caste, his drive. Apparently, he has because obviously he deals in illicit goods. Just different things. Different artifacts that are said to be cursed. Drugs. Alcohol that might be banned, just different vices, like maybe gambling games that are restricted, different, things like that. Just anything really, he'll get for people, and so his drive is to sort of bribe the Justicars so they'll sort of get rid of his crimes. So that's kind of why he's staying close to these nobles, so he can get some sort of political backing whenever he goes and attempts to bribe away anything he's been charged for. And his ritual is a delay, which apparently is time travel, sort of. So I can apparently push a person or animal slightly back in time. That's kind of cool. I'm going to enjoy that. We'll say my character was born with that ability and has really no idea how he got it. Something weird. Maybe he's part Fae or something. Anyway.
All right.
Sorry, that was the long rambling. I just
not at all.
got really into these choices you chose, and was like, I gotta come up with.
No, I love it. Drakku, tell us about Paris.
Yeah, so Paris, she honestly probably had some dealings with Brayzen in the past after hearing that backstory, but she's what you would quote-unquote call a healer. She is an expelled apprentice, though, because she has some very unique ideas when it comes to healing that usually involve illegal herbs, some backwater surgeries going on that may or may not be medically acknowledged as far as if they're helpful or not. And she is driven by this almost obsession that she is onto something with these different tactics, if you will, with healing. And that's kind of what is driving her this direction. She's heard rumors that there's some kind of ancient text or artifact that could help her prove her theories. And so that's really what's driving her. She wants to get this published and restore honor to her name. I'm going big. I picked 2 rituals. We've got Bind and Hollow. So she is already starting at Ruin 3, which kind of felt right for what she's doing. And she is skilled in forensics, herbs, surgeries, if you want to call it skilled in surgeries, sure, and lore. And that's what we're working with there.
It definitely sounds like she's skilled in certain parts of surgery, at least.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
All right, and it's, as y'all probably gathered from listening to the drives of the characters, all of the goals that they have they're pricey. They require a lot to make those things happen. So, the incursion that we're playing in today is written by Luiz, Paulo, Ferraz, is called the Decadent Ascent. Off among the woods, outside the Tyrolis perimeter, lies the forgotten Duquis lost estate. Many years ago, the eccentric noble isolated themselves from the world, and rumors about the massive amount of wealth that was kept inside their estate's pristine buildings are frequently talked about by those of a greedier persuasion. You finally managed to put together a group that was able to reach the secluded location, and even from a distance, you could see the Duquis' opulent domain. Even the smallest bit of plunder from those magnificent halls would be enough to let an average person live very comfortably for a while. But why settle for a little when you can have a lot? So, we are going to kick things off with you all have made your way through the forests that kind of surround the estate to the outer bits of the grounds proper. And in doing so, you've come to discover that the entire estate is surrounded by this ridiculously high golden fence. The bars, I guess, probably not solid gold, as you have not been able to push your way through them, but they reach 20, 30 feet high, way higher than you would expect to need them be, with spikes up on the top. And they've proven to be too slick to climb at this point. So it's we pick up with your group as you've been essentially circling the area looking for some sort of means of ingress. Who do we think is leading the group? Or leading the path, I should say.
I would be okay with Loran leading. They are the soldier. They are the physical of the group. So anything jumps, it would be up to Loran to handle the problem.
Right.
Desan is probably off to the side, keeping track of like any animal tracks or leavings.
Mm-hmm.
I would be strategically placed with as many meat shields around me as possible. So in the middle.
Very close to the wall.
So Loran is walking by the wall, trying each bar if it's maybe loose or something, but not with much force because that would be too noisy. So like just grabbing and checking if they are solid.
Where do we find Paris, kind of in relation to this group?
She's kind of watching as this all goes down. I'd actually like to try a lore to see if I've heard anything about this tall structure, this wall keeping us out.
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm trying to... The reason I'm saying hold off on rolling is because I'm trying to debate whether... I don't know that there's anything that would go wrong with you trying to remember this. So I don't know that it's going to necessitate a roll. But you can absolutely get some information here because of that. Yeah, it's tough because it's... A lot of the Duquis' activities, a lot of it was gossip. He was kind of that level of nobility where it's... You don't get to go to the parties. You don't get to go near it. You just hear tales. Oh no!
Oh,
who did we
dropped Echinorlax.
Oh, shoot!
It's okay. He'll come back in.
Yeah.
For now, there's two of us on every screen.
So we will have Echinorlax back shortly. But yeah, so it's... So I guess the point, information is few and far between about the estate, and most of it is gossip, and you're not sure how reliable it is.
Okay.
You did hear that you've yet to see it, but you heard that there was some kind of security force that mans the walls. You've not found any, like, outposts or anything like that yet, but supposedly there were... Here we go. Here comes Echinorlax. Yay! Hi, Echinorlax. Welcome back.
Sorry, that was very unexpected. Total blue screen and...
Not a problem. You did not miss a whole lot. Essentially, rumors that we've got of the estate is that there are supposedly some sort of guard force that patrols these outer walls. We've yet to encounter any.
And I would pass this information along to everybody and let them know that.
That is good to know. Because
I don't know, y'all.
This is not a game where you necessarily always want to share information, so it's good to make note of that.
Yes. So yeah, I've heard that there's a way in for sure, but I don't. It's just all rumors at this point, and I think I remember something about a guard. Have we seen any guard posts anywhere since we got here?
Have we?
Good question.
Yeah.
Not yet. It's been pretty monotonous. Bar. No points of ingress. No gate yet.
So it's not just so I understand, it's not a solid wall. It's more just like bars upon.
Yes.
Okay.
Just confident enough in their wall, I guess. Huh?
There's no structures inside either that we can see, I presume.
So it's everything that you've been able to see on the other side of the wall is big hedges. On the approach, you were able to see a few buildings, like opulent-looking buildings, peeking out from above the greenery. But this close to the walls, it's just hedges is all you can make out. Let me see. So it's... So Desan is essentially keeping an eye out for things, correct?
They're trying to find an animal specifically.
All right, so your attention's kind of more focused towards the woods, kind of looking out for trouble.
Yeah.
Got it. In that case...
Also maybe a way in.
Right. In that case, why don't we have Loran? You're kind of leading the group, knocking on the bars, not loudly, I remember, and keeping an eye out for things. Do you have any kind of skills that would help you out in a role to kind of survey or catch things?
Catch as in notice?
Yes.
Let's be honest, no.
Okay. I'm going to say, with your position kind of in the front of the group and eyes closer to the matter, I'm going to say I'd like you to make a risk roll. For whether you catch for how well you catch a potential danger coming.
So that is 1d6.
It is... So it's, if you don't have a skill, you're currently not at a d6 yet. We can add a dark d6 if you'd like to risk something, or we can offer devil's bargains here to essentially get you some dice to roll. So I will say, just as a nice simple devil's bargain to begin with. Regardless of your role on this, whether you notice the party that is, whether you notice the potential risk, or whether you don't, I'd say the devil's bargain is they notice you.
Okay.
But that you do not have to wait with just that one. Leland, Jay, Drakku, you can also all offer. How might this go wrong? That is the question that you're going to be hearing a lot.
Oh, and Loran is specifically just examining the bars, basically. How might it go wrong?
Essentially, it seems like Loran is kind of at the forefront of the group with their attention focused towards the estate and the gate.
Yes.
So, from a risk on that side of things, they would be kind of the most prominent to catch it.
Got you.
Could be there's some kind of loose footing or like crevasse in front of them that they're not paying attention to since they're focused on the palace.
Got it. So it's something like whether they notice what's coming or not, they don't notice like a hole they're about to trip in.
Yeah.
Like a minor injury or minor setback there.
like the idea of an injury. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I like the idea of not an injury, but a complication.
Yeah, like a gopher
Foot
turtle.
stuck in. Yeah.
Yeah, like a gopher turtle hole or something, just randomly out in front of the. It's like a big cave, like this.
Ah, yes, the
Animal
classic
cave.
prairie gopher turtle.
Well, it's one you could potentially offer Leland if you want, is potentially attracting the attention of wild animals or something from the forest. Just to kind of give you all some categories that, the trophy guide has listed as devil's bargains. Things that could cause collateral damage or unintended harm. Getting lost or separated from your companions. Having to sacrifice an item or piece of treasure. Having to betray a fellow treasure hunter. Attracting the attention of wild animals, forest spirits, monstrosities, anything like that.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of starting to understand it a bit more. The examples really help.
So essentially, I'm in kind of dangerous situation, and because I have no skill specific to that situation, I'm sort of doomed until I take some devil's bargain, right?
Sort of, yeah. You can either currently you're at no rolls, no dice to roll, which would obviously not be great. You can get one either through this devil's bargain, or if you, Echinorlax, are willing to risk Loran's health or mind in accomplishing this roll, you can add a dark dice to things. You can always add a dark dice to things to risk yourself. Or you can accept a devil's bargain, roll it. If you don't like it, then you can add a dark dice too.
Oh, that seems like the most reasonable thing. Start with 0 dark and let's go. Let's build from there.
Yep.
So maybe in terms of Devil's Bargain, I would go with something sees us first and surprises us.
All right. So who was that? Was that Leland's? The something from the forest? Or was that...
That was yours.
Oh,
It was
mine.
yours.
The original one.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
So 1 die.
Yep.
3.
So that is going to be a failure. 1 through 3, you fail and things get worse. The GM describes how. The GM may also allow you to succeed, but things will get worse in some other way.
And now I could add a dark die.
Yep. And when you add the dark die, you can re-roll your light die too. You get to re-roll both.
Okay. But I risk adding 1 ruin.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's the way that once you've added a dark die, if the dark die is equal to or your highest number, then it counts as a ruin roll. And essentially what a ruin roll is if your dark die is higher than your ruin, so higher than a 2, then your ruin goes up by 1. And you get what's called a condition as let's call it, for this incursion, I've called it the estate. Warps your mind or body in some way.
Okay. So 1 dark die and 1 light die. Oh, dark is 1, light is 6.
Okay, perfect. That is good for you. So, yep, we count the light dice since it's the highest. You succeed. Describe how. So since I've not given you a whole lot of information to describe how yet.
Yeah, because it was something to notice.
Yes. What you are about to discover is... Actually, I'll say, with the success, you notice 2 things. The one that was not risky, you notice as you're going through the metal bars that one of them has a crest on it. Almost looks like it might be a keyhole, but not for like a standard kind of key. But the risky thing that you notice is about as kind of the gate turns a corner, you notice 3 or I guess 4. You notice 4 guards in just like brightly colored opulent uniforms. Hat, feathers, the whole shebang. And they notice you as a result of the devil's bargain.
Okay, so we each notice each other party, and
they're still a good distance away, but you've caught each other's attention. And since, you know what, since you got a 6-2, as one of them turns around, you do see seems to have like a crest around one of its necks, one of their necks that matches what you saw in the gate.
So I'm turning to the party and whisper, "Shit, I think we've been spotted."
Oh, damn it.
Desan would try to blend in with the woods and just like
wait 1 moment. How many of them noticed us?
All 4 appear to be looking in your direction. You're at a
So
distance where it's hard to make out like faces, but these all seem to be young men and women. Yeah, that's about much as you can make out from here.
Okay, so question. If I wanted to do delay, I would have to do it at 4 times?
I believe so, because it's
says
free
push
delay
a
to
person?
Again, right? Yep.
Push a person. Okay, so... Alright, they only noticed Loran?
I would say anybody between Paris, Desan, and Brayzen, any of you that would like to that would like to conceal yourselves before being noticed can attempt that with a risk roll.
Yes, I say all of us conceal ourselves, and then I will rewind. I will rewind Loran back in time.
So I think
with delay.
Makes sense.
So rewinding Loran will bring Loran back, but those people will have all still had time happen, so they'll all still be looking in this direction.
I know, but rewind them
still
back,
fine.
and rewind them back, and then we'll run.
All right, so they've noticed Loran. Loran pops out of the timeline briefly, like a bit, and then the 3 of you are all hidden, and they've lost sight of everyone. Is the plan?
Yeah, does that sound cool with everyone else?
Oh yeah, very cool.
Timing.
if you try to explain that to Desan, you're gonna get the strangest look. Like, I'm sorry, you're going to. And
my character adjusts his feather in his hat and just rolls his eyes and starts to kind of like rub his hands together and pop his knuckles, and just within like a split second, that's when the cast starts. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the risk check, right? The risk check first to hide.
What I will say is, if you don't hide first, you will catch their attention casting this. So it'll be a risk roll from Brayzen, Desan, and Paris in order to conceal themselves, if that's what everyone would like to do. And that it'll be another roll for Brayzen to essentially attempt this magical maneuver.
Okay, and so what type of die do I use for the risk roll? A dark die?
So if you have a skill that helps you conceal yourself, let me know how you are using it, and you can get a light die from that.
Okay.
Let's start with that for everyone. Does anyone have a skill they can use, and how are they using it?
I am skilled in chase.
So does Brayzen just run?
Just zips off into the woods.
Sure. I'll say that. Yeah, Brayzen knows kind of when a chase is starting, kind of a path to go to stop it before it progresses.
I'm also skilled in lies, and hiding is a form of lying. So,
sure. Well, so you've got a light dice for that. Desan, do you have anything for concealment?
I would say either hunting, i.e., keeping yourself hidden from the prey, or deception.
All right. Let's say with hunting, since you were already looking towards the woods, in hunt mode, we'll say that you can. Once a new predator has been revealed to itself, that you can pivot easy enough, and you'll get a light die from that.
Cool.
Now, it did not seem like Paris has anything from your face.
No.
All right, that's fine.
Deal with the devil.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's
down.
Not just Paris, but all of you can. You can all take Devil's Bargain as well in order.
I'm definitely taking a Devil's Bargain.
Exactly, because that'll get you 2 light die instead of just the 1.
I would like to be bitten by a spider. Like, I'm gonna just run through a spider web with my Devil's Bargain. Or a snake, your choice.
Hmm.
Let me think on that one.
All right.
I feel like if you're bolting, I feel like maybe you'll like not so much a spider's web, but you might run into something else,
Yeah,
like a tree branch or a what have you.
that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
I apologize. The spiders reminded me. We did not. I did not introduce our safety tools at the beginning of the game.
My bad.
So that's my apologies for that. Just to let everyone know, we are using several different safety tools. We have a lines and veils document.
I need to read it again.
Lines are spiders were not on there. They just reminded me of this.
Okay.
A line
thank
is
goodness.
something that we do not want in the game at all. If anything comes up, we redact that, we write that back, and do not talk about it anymore. A veil is something that we are okay being in the game as long as we don't kind of dive too deeply into it. It kind of like a fade to black moment. And then we are also using XN and O cards, which is, if during play any of those types of things come up, X would be, again, stop the scene, redact whatever we need to. N is kind of we're approaching a barrier that we don't want to cross, and O is an indication that everything is going well. Even if it's a scary or emotional scene, we are role-playing and we're happy with things. So occasionally in chat, we'll write O with a question mark just to confirm everybody is okay. And then the final safety tool is just an open door policy where if cast or viewers, if you're uncomfortable with something and just need a break, that is totally fine. You can go. You do not need to come back. Your mental well-being is more important than you trying to watch this if we are putting undue stress on you. So, apologies for forgetting to address those at the beginning of things.
No, for sure. And where are those? I read them when I put mine in, and there were already a bunch in there. But I do want to read it again in case it's been updated since then.
I will link that in our chat for y'all.
Thank you.
But yes, so Devil's Bargains. Why don't y'all toss them out for me? I've got some to think. They can be for individual members of the three of you, or they can apply to any of the three of you, I guess.
I like the idea of Paris would probably... She's not used to combat. She's the one that cleans up after combat, that kind of thing. So she wants to hide as quickly as possible, so she's going to lunge at the ground, and in doing so, hurt her wrist, and make it harder for her to do any of her surgery, that kind of, any of those skill checks that have to do with dexterity with the hands.
Got it. So essentially, make it such that any attempt that we'll be trying to do with skilled hands in the future will kind of make itself more of a risky roll that we would roll for.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
Brayzen, I will absolutely give you some sort of spider web to run into. That
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll just be a spider and not anything worse.
Yeah, and yeah, I was gonna say if it's like I just want to get bitten on the face, like, and kind of like maybe like swell up one of my eyes a bit, kind of mess my vision up.
I know this is meant to be super dark, but I can't stop hearing the Benny Hill theme, watching us all like jump into rocks and things like that.
Or just hit the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Benny Hill meets Doctor Who, like.
And it's since I think it fits more Brayzen and Desan, I'll offer you both. The one for me is in maneuvering yourself into the forest. You do cross into some sort of spider thing.
I was actually going to say Desan would try to climb up a tree, and in doing so would disturb maybe like a bird's nest or squirrels or something like that, and then have to deal with that attacking them instead.
Absolutely. I will pivot from that for you. It's if you'd like to adjust that. I will say Desan, in climbing the tree, you do attract the attention of some sort of wild animal. I'll say it may not attack you initially, but it is something that's
interested in me.
Is interested in you and may continue to be interested in you throughout the incursion.
Cool. I'm good with that.
Okay. So it sounds like everybody took a Devil's Bargain. So it's right now we've got 2 light dice for Brayzen, 2 light dice for Desan, 1 for Ferraz. You all are welcome to roll those, and then if you need to risk body and mind, we can do that.
So it's 2 light dice? I thought it was 1 light and 1 dark.
No, it's dark is if you are a Devil's Bargain still counts as a light dice. Dark is when you're willing to risk your body or mind. Essentially willing to take on more ruin.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's not that valuable, yeah. All right. Cool. Okay.
All right. Who'd like to share first?
So I rolled a
Got it.
4.
All
Oh,
right.
good. I'm not the
All
only
right.
one.
All right. So with a 4 or a 5 is you succeed, but there is some kind of complication. The GM describes the complication, then you describe how you succeed.
Okay.
How did Brayzen do? Leland.
Oh, hey, that's me. I'm bad with names, even the
That's
ones
okay.
I come up with earlier this morning. I add them together or
No.
tell you the die separately.
Just your highest
Okay.
die.
A 6.
A 6, so you succeed. The devil, now, as a reminder, accepting the Devil's Bargain means that all happens regardless. Brayzen absolutely will encounter some sort of spider issue here. But how do you succeed in concealing yourself?
Oh, I just run in and and as I'm running, I reach forward and snatch a twig off of a tree, run forward a little bit further, and then toss the twig over into one bush, and then hide into another. That's my little diversion tactic that I would do if someone were chasing me.
Yeah. And I would say in that bush is where you realize... Now, were you really wanting the spider to be on the face, or are you happy with it anywhere?
No, I just was trying to come up with something cool because he's like this pompous, like wannabe noble prick, and it just would be funny having like a big swollen eye. But Go ahead.
I'll say we can absolutely do the face if everyone is okay with that. But it's not going to be. You see in the bush there's like cobweb on one half of your face. You could feel kind of like it's not quite an even hex, but you can kind of feel that pattern laying down. And you do feel like an immediate sting in the middle that then you kind of brush off.
So it's just like my cheek's gonna be swollen.
Well, right now there's a little bit of a sharp pain, but nothing else from there right now. But it's you toss it, you swipe away, and it's almost like this baseball sized, like ruby red looking spider that kind of goes flying.
Crap. Whoa! Oh, gnarly. All right. Cool.
So, for
I'm hiding.
You are hiding. For Desan and for Paris, we do have a 4. Obviously, that is essentially almost the best things could be. If either of you wanted to push your luck, you could add a dark colored dice and re-roll your whole dice pool if you were willing to risk your ruin going up.
Let's do it. I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna hold off for now because
Do it big, girl.
later.
All right.
Well, my dark die was the highest one with a 3.
Oh,
Hail
no.
Satan.
So I've gone up in ruin, correct?
Now, what is your current ruin score? Is it a 3?
It was 3, yes.
So, your dark die has to be higher than your current ruin for you to add a
Oh,
ruin.
okay.
So things have gotten worse in terms of your total result,
Right.
but you did... and since your dark die is your highest, you can't keep adding them, but you do not take any additional ruin. Things are just
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this could be pretty simple into things get worse is where, at least before, you were only pretty sure that they noticed Loran. You hit the ground, twist your wrist a little bit, like your Devil's Bargain said, and you definitely get the sense that they heard this person collapsing themselves to the ground. So they've spotted you as well.
I've probably yelped a little bit because that hurt, so...
I
Just
can only
boom.
time travel one of you.
And Desan, you said you were not going to add any, correct? Sorry,
Correct.
So you have succeeded in hiding yourself.
Waiting for the bot.
Complication. So it's you did. So it's you did accept the devil's bargain. So there is.
There's something watching me.
Yeah, it's higher up in the trees. You notice just like
a
this,
rustling.
Yeah, and it's this stark white cat, like obviously pampered with like a jewel encrusted collar. And it's
Are we talking like just like an Angora kind of like cat, or are we talking like a forest cat?
No, Angora, I think.
Okay, just like a house cat.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it just has this look in its eyes of like disdain for you. Like, why are you here? Like, go back down where you belong. It's what you get from this cat's look.
Okay. Wow.
And so that is your devil's bargain. And then, so you do get a complication from climbing this tree. I think the complication is just to get down safely from the tree. It's going to take a little.
It's going to take some doing.
Yeah, to get down fast, it's either going to attract attention again, or it's going to take you just a little bit longer.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
I'm good with that, yeah.
All right, so Brayzen, you have hid yourself in a bush. Desan is up in a tree. Loran, you have attracted the attention of some guards, as well as Paris. So we have got two of our party members with about 4 guardsmen approaching. Guardspeople approaching. Because it's... I'll say... Now, Brayzen, were you still going to try and work a ritual before...
I would need to work 2 rituals.
You would. That's...
Is that possible? Do I have enough time to cast them both?
Things are going... So, again, since your ritual only brings one person back in time a little bit, time for everybody else is going to be continuing to progress. So say if you reverse time for Loran so that they were still considered, the guards are still going to be advancing on Paris, and the time that it would take for the ritual to happen is you don't think that you'd reverse far enough to before her dive, if that makes sense.
Got it. Okay. So I'm just going to keep running then.
That is fine. You like running away? That's fine.
Run away! I'm going to yell, run away!
So you are currently concealed. You can absolutely yell out and continue to run if you'd like. Let's bounce back to Paris and Loran before that happens. So as these 4 guards folk approach a bit closer, you do see it's just the uniforms themselves. It's like this. It's like silk. You think it might be something more exotic than silk, like a material that you're not quite familiar with. Like, I don't know if rich people just have better fabrics than the rest of us even know about.
They do.
Yeah, and it's all just brightly colored and flashy, not at all the kind of thing that you would expect to conceal yourself in a forest. They are meant to be seen and gawked at. And you notice that all of them are just like beautiful looking. Like that, there's not really any other way to say it. But there is this weird gold pattern kind of stretching across their faces and kind of going back to the neck, that it almost seems like they've got a smile on, but the eyes aren't smiling. They walk in your direction, making no effort to speak with you. But why don't the 2 of you give me ruin rolls? As what you hear from them as they approach is you don't hear any speaking, but you just hear, it's almost like a crowded party just whispering, like behind your back. So a ruin roll, since this is our first straight off ruin roll, is your ruin. So when you witness or undergo something disturbing, make a ruin roll by rolling 1 dark die. And if it is higher than your current ruin, you add 1 to your ruin.
What if it's equal?
It has to be higher, so you are good.
Perfect, then. I'm good.
3 is working out for your ruin.
It is.
I've rolled 6, so I stand no chance.
Yeah, so that your ruin goes up from 2 to 3. And it's typically when your ruin increases, you take what's called like a condition to kind of represent the increasing hold that this environment has on your character. And it's given kind of the sounds that are coming out of these guards as they approach. I'm going to say the condition for Loran is they're kind of whenever they're alone or whenever somebody else is talking around them but not to them, she's always kind of suspicious that they're talking about her now. And not in a good way. Does that seem okay? And just to clear, anything that I propose like this, we can veto back to.
Loran or Paris, because
Sorry, Loran.
Okay. They are confused, okay, by the voices. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not specifically these voices, but kind of as this has affected her character going for or their character going forward. Kind of any time that you're in a situation where kind of people are talking near you but not to you, there's always kind of this lingering sense that, are they talking about me? What are they saying?
Okay, so voices in the typical medical meaning. Okay. Voices confusing.
Now, I will say, just for everyone, typically fighting a monstrosity or any kind of, terrible creature in Trophy is certain death. Like if you encounter a monster, our risk rolls are going to be, how do you evade or hide or get away from this monster? Because fighting it is not going to be good. These seem humanoid enough that, they look like people. You could probably fight them if you needed to. But there are 4 of them. So I will say, I bring that up just because fighting these 4 is not automatic death just from the get-go. You are welcome to do so, or you're welcome to kind of figure something else out. Because you did notice that, potentially that key around the neck of one of them.
So, that makes fighting them, worthy of our time and effort. If we get the key this way, and also we are in Loran's eyes, the situation is not so bad. 2 of us are hidden. 2 of us are bait, so it's like a trap set itself.
Oh, I'm running away. I'm just kidding. I'm just running to a safer vantage point further away. I'm not gonna go out of.
Oh, I thought you were in this bush.
That was
I
the
do
last
have a
we saw of
plan.
Brayzen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just here to observe.
Yeah, you're just here to wait till we die. I do have a plan.
Plan B. We set trap somewhere else. As Loran's seen Brayzen running, the best chance to them it's lie in escape. It seems.
So am I getting this? It's that Loran would like to try and lead these folks into the forest where potentially your hidden allies can get to them? Or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, sort of. Loran whispers to Paris, let's drag him away into forest.
All right.
You're gonna have to kill them. I can't do this. This is on you. I can't do it.
Maybe we should set this. Maybe we can try setting some trap on them there.
I could try. I can make them stop moving. One of them. Be easy to stab.
Oh, maybe we should split.
Separate them.
Am I close enough to hear this?
I think we're whispering.
You whispering?
So
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I think from your vantage point, you can see them whispering, but you're
Okay.
not close enough to hear what they're talking about.
Okay. I think while they're doing that, I would like to try to prepare some kind of noose trap, just to hang a rope basically down to try and maybe catch someone if they're running by.
Sure.
Hopefully not my friends,
Okay.
or at least my comrades.
So, I think with how we are set here, it is already sort of trap even without Brayzen. Let's hide in the bushes further away so they cross below Desan.
Okay.
Also, what time of day is it?
Let's see. Let's say we're
Did we wait
approaching-
till like nightfall?
Well, y'all were pretty lucky getting through the forest, we'll say. And that forests are usually not great in this area. But y'all made it through pretty uneventfully. But I'd say it's about dusk now.
Okay.
Okay, so I think what Loran would try to do and convince Price to do the same is hide in the bushes somewhere further away so they move below the tree Desan is on.
Yeah, we could keep luring them into the dangerous forest that we just survived in, and into some sort of slightly familiar territory that we just traveled through, and then
Full of hoity-toity cats.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what Brayzen's doing. Brayzen's doing
this
a
is the
tactical retreat.
The aristocratic feline forest.
All right, so it's Loran and Paris. You are pulling back into the woods. Yep, these four are. They've still not said a word, but the whispering hasn't stopped. The mouths aren't moving. You're not sure where the sound is coming from. It's almost just like exuding from the space around them. Which
Loran shudders. I will silence them soon.
So let's kind of break this down into pieces. So I think y'all get into the woods past the tree that Desan is at. So I'll say we'll make a risk roll from Desan to see how well this goes, how well setting off the trap goes. And then depending on how that goes, I think we're going to need a risk roll from the two of you for kind of how we want to proceed and how much ground they gain on you. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to take a dark dice on this one.
All right.
Because I am not in a good position, if someone does get caught by this thing, to actually like haul them up. So I'm suspecting if it goes poorly, I might get pulled out of my tree by it rather than like hoisting one of them up. But since I do have trapping, I would say I do have a white die as well.
Yep. Are you interested in a devil's bargain, or do
Not
you?
at the moment.
All right. That's fine.
It's gonna go. I think it's gonna go bad enough. Yep, 6 on the dark die.
All right. So. Perfect. So you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Things go how you want them to. Which tell me how this goes.
So, first off, are the guards like just moving at a normal pace? Are they running? How are they moving?
They've just been steadily walking. It's a bit of, if you've seen It Follows, kind of some It Follows vibe. Where it's,
Okay, like unconcerned walking
yep,
almost.
they'll get where they need to get when they need to.
Okay, so I would say Desan would let the first one pass, and then like loop on the second one, and try to, while pulling them up, like kind of jam the rope into a crook in the tree or something like that. Like just do a quick little like knot to keep them up off the ground a little bit. Yeah, I think that's what I'd do.
All right. So it's now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your ruin has gone up from 2 to 3 now, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. What condition do you take?
Concern.
I like this one. Given your interaction with the Aristocat, going forward, the deeper you get into this estate, you feel inadequate, underdressed, and out of place. Does that feel okay?
I think that works. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Got quite a bit of us at 3 ruin now. I love it. We are in ring 1 of 5.
Oh.
All right, so you've got one of the 4 guards strung up in the tree now. The other 3 do not seem to falter from this. They continue to follow Paris and Loran.
What's the one that's hanging doing?
Did you kind of the rope that you set? Does it just immobilize them, or is it?
It's
break
meant.
their neck?
I wouldn't say it breaks their neck. There's probably not enough force for it, but it is definitely like choking them, probably, or at least like it's up and pulling them up like that. So it's not comfortable by any means. It's not like a
Yeah, it's in that case. Oh, fuck. It's in that case you see them clawing at this rope to try and get it off.
Does it seem like they're struggling for breath?
Yes.
Okay.
But they're clawing to the point that they are essentially cutting into their neck with their nails. And it's where you'd expect to see like red flesh underneath. You almost see like a shimmer of gold. And so I kind of want to say that should be a ruin roll, because that's kind of disturbing.
That's pretty disturbing.
No, it's not kind of disturbing.
That's a 3, so it doesn't go up.
Perfect. All right. So Paris and Loran are making their ways further back. Brayzen, what are you? I guess how you all would notice the one guard getting lifted into the air, so you know that at least one trap has gone off. How would you like to proceed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to use my skills in chase to try and basically just lure one of them around and try and communicate with my friends as much as I can about basically luring people into more traps if need be.
Mm-hmm. I like it. So how do you... Are you trying to attract the attention of just one of the 3 remaining guards? Or are you trying to attract more than one?
Just as many as I can round up to follow me. I basically kind of want to lead them around so my friends can just pop out of bushes and snatch one up, or toss a rope around one like a lasso, or whatever whatever they want to do. I want to lead them around like a rabbit. Just
sure. That is risky, and you have a skill to support that. So that's 1 light die off the bat. Are you interested in Devil's Bargain, and would anybody like to propose any? Because remember, it's not just me that gets in on that.
My entire life is a Devil's Bargain. Okay, I'm a true son of metal, so I will always be making Devil's Bargains. I'm just kidding. I don't know. It sounds dangerous to live by that way in this game, but in this case, though, I think it would be good. I can't come up with anybody else wanna. I mean, of course I can come up with some, like, but I don't want to do anything that I don't want to come. Everything I keep coming up with, it sort of impedes me, and I don't want to.
That is a bit of how it works. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if, as you're running to get their attention, are you like whooping? Are you making noises? Or are you just kind of like running close to try and get their attention?
Are we Zoidberging away?
Yeah.
Whoop, 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 whoop. No, I'm just gonna I'm just cursing at them, just insulting them. But like in a very foppish way.
What if instead of like something happens to you, what if the guards react somehow to that? In some, say, disturbing way.
So
it's where I have to make a ruin roll.
Mm-hmm. Like they might catch you unawares with that.
Got it. So if Brayzen's role is to see whether he can... Essentially, you're trying to lead them further away. So that's the role that's up in question. And we'll say, regardless of whether you're able to get them away from the group, your actions cause the guards to get more aggressive. Like something about their demeanor changes.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Love it. Okay.
Never had so much fun sabotaging my friends.
Right?
All right, so that is another light die, right?
So that's 2 light die. And if you would like to risk your body or mind, you can add a dark.
Of course. So, if the highest number on the dark die is what makes me win, then something dark happens.
If your dark die is your highest or equal to your highest die, it becomes a ruin roll. And if that number is higher than your ruin goes up by 1.
Got it, but I still succeed, right?
If the roll is a success.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I got a 6 on my light die and a 1 on my dark die.
Perfect. So you succeed in leading all three of them away from Paris and Loran. But yes, their demeanor changes. They're on your trail, but you've got some distance between you. And looking over your shoulder, and I would say Paris and Loran also get to see this before they turn away. Kind of like that gold pattern that was stretching back on the face. It almost looks like kind of string that breaks at the mouth. And the mouths, where they were almost hung up in like a smile, they kind of like fall down now on their own volition, and it almost looks like screaming. But there's still no sound besides the whispers.
Okay, what do I roll, boss?
This is just a straight ruin roll now. So roll a dark die, and if it's higher than your ruin is at 2, right?
Yeah, because I just have one ritual.
Yep. So 3, 4, 5, or 6, and you go up.
So what do I roll? Just how many? Just one dark die.
Just one dark die.
Okay, and so I'm looking to roll a 1 and a 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's my goal number. Okay, it's a 1.
Perfect.
I wouldn't lie. Trust me.
No, it's
We were so close. We almost had us all there.
Yeah, it is disturbing, but you do not. The sight of it does not clutch you and make you more like the estate. Okay, so Brayzen has successfully pulled them away from you all. What does the rest of the group do as a result of this?
That's our chance. Try biting the last one.
Okay. And with
And
that,
Loran moves moves after the guards that chase Brayzen now.
All right.
okay.
To
So
strike
I'm going to use one of my rituals. So is that a ruin roll?
Yeah. So it's not exactly. So it's
Okay.
Let me double check to make sure I'm getting it right. I believe it's a normal risk roll, but by
Okay.
incorporating a ritual, you have to add at least one dark.
You
dice.
do, yeah.
Okay.
So there's always a risk involved.
Right. Okay. So I would end up rolling with 1 light and 1 dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Unless you want a devil's bargain for an extra light. Unless you want to complicate things more.
I mean, why not? Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So the bargain. So I'm trying to cast bind is what I'm trying to do, which would keep it from moving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the obvious thing would be for it to miss and hit Brayzen.
Or it could extend and hit Desan.
Exactly. So that's the thing. It's the
Yeah.
roll will determine whether it's successful or not for the one you're targeting.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's
So
true.
it's, the
Okay.
devil's bargain will be something that happens regardless.
Regardless, she would have to look at them. So would I also see this creepy mouth thing going on?
Sure. We could
I'd
say
have
that
to-
in maneuvering yourself to cast this, you see something disturbing and have to
Okay.
make and would have to make an additional ruin roll as a result.
And yeah, that is the question too, is the choking one looking different?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I wanted to let Paris and Loran do their thing.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, I mean, is that good enough? I mean, I'm
I'm-
trying to
I
think
mean-
what else.
I'm fine with that. That's risking your ruin twice for this, so I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that too. Okay, are we good with that? If so, I'm going for it.
Yep, I'll say what you see as you're preparing to cast. So why don't we do the devil's bargain ruin roll first?
Okay.
So what you see as you're maneuvering yourself to cast bind on the one that's bringing up the rear,
Okay.
is you see kind of like the nape of the neck shows from their uniform, and you see the gold webbing almost that was stretching around to their faces. You see it almost like, I'm trying to think of a better way to describe it other than like if you've seen like the Venom symbiote in Spider-Man, where it's kind of like its own like sentient thing. You see just like gold wires kind of extending out from the back of the uniform and like wriggling about.
Like
I don't know if this
parakeet
is
worms?
so much. Like what?
Sorry, I know that's a really specific thing, but like parakeet worms or
I
polykeet worms. Sorry, they're a underwater worm that kind of like wriggles in the waves. Anyway,
maybe
like it.
it's. Do they embed themselves in skin? Because that's what this looks like.
well, in rock, but in this case, probably.
So let's ruin roll for that first.
Okay. Okay.
And then we will do your risk roll.
That is definitely higher. That is a 5. So
All right. So that
Pop
our
on up
ruin
to
goes up to
4.
4. And we will
Cool.
get a condition as a result of this.
okay.
While I think on that, why don't you make your risk roll? Which now it's harder for your ruin to go up here.
That's true.
It's harder to go up twice.
Don't jinx me. Or yeah, jinx me. Honestly, that'd be great. Okay. The dark die did not. My highest roll was a 6.
All right, perfect. And it's not the dark die.
It is not.
All right. So you successfully tell me, what does bind look like when Paris uses it?
So with bind, she does the whole little hand, the Yoda lifting the ship out of the water. And she just holds that and they'll just kind of freeze in place. Just no more movement. Exact like mid-step, and just kind of balance there as they were.
Here's a fun condition. Every time you speak, you can't help but raise your voice. So it's Paris is going to be projecting and commanding.
I love it.
Is that okay?
Volume-wise, raise my voice. Okay, I was imagining going to a little bit of
I thought pitch. Yeah.
No, more. This is more of like a commanding
Volume.
royalty.
Okay.
So there could be a change in intonation as well. But I'll leave that up to you if you're okay with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understood. It's the anger in the voice.
Alright,
Everybody understood something different.
Okay.
And I'll say, you do not need to make another ruin roll for this, but you do notice the body of the guard freezes up, but whatever that gold wriggling thing is, it is still wrapping itself around. Loran, what do you do to this individual?
So Loran was chasing after this group to make use of Paris' work.
And I will say, in terms of level of risk here, between Paris and Brayzen both doing such a good job at their tasks, I would say that with your skills, you are able to do whatever you would like to this guard in the back without having to make a roll.
Exactly, and in the spirit of this game, I would say that's a perfect reason not to do anything. If the guard is binned, and then I'll try to use this opportunity to actually get the second last.
Okay, got it.
So I guess that's already Devil's Bargain sort of proposed here.
Well, so
already Devil's Bargain proposed. Can I get to the second?
you can get to this. So the risk roll will be your essentially assault on the second, which I believe you're skilled in, so you'll have a light dice from that already.
Light and dark, right?
Well, dark if you want to add a dark. You don't have to.
Okay. So you agree with me just using one light die? Okay.
You can, yeah. We can offer you a second light die if you'd like a Devil's Bargain on top of this.
2 die sounds good.
All right.
So the Devil's Bargain is actually while Loran is running by the hanging second one, Loran takes a peek from up close at this hanging guy's neck.
Ooh, if y'all would like to keep adding extra ruin rolls on as your Devil's Bargains, I will not turn those down. I'm happy with that.
Okay, so that puts me at 2 die.
Yep, 2 die. But yeah, so the Devil's Bargain happens regardless. So I will say, as you are running, you see just clawing at the neck, and maybe even what attracts your attention is there's like a drip on your shoulder as you run by, and you look at it, and it's like the shoulder of your clothes is like stained gold. and that brings up your attention to where you see the gold dripping from the guard's neck as it claws at the rope. So we will make a ruin roll for that, and then you can make your risk roll to attack guard number 2.
So we start with 1 die for the ruin. Okay. Damn. 6. That means I'm at 4.
Yep, up to 4. So it's
team 4.
I will think of a condition for you while you can go ahead and make your risk roll.
Okay. So
this is the 2 light die, and if you wanted to add any darks, you could, or you could roll the light and then hold off before adding.
Oh, so that we're right. I forget Devil's Bargain are not dark dice.
No.
There is additional light. Yep, it was a good decision because I rolled 5.
5. All right. So, and you don't want to add any dark to try and get a 6, just to be sure.
Yeah, 6. 5 sounds like 5 sounds like a very good roll.
Yep. So it's with either 4 or 5 or 6, you succeed. With a 4 to 5, there is a complication.
The odds for getting 6 in 1 of 3 are not pretty good, so I will take that 5.
That's all right. Okay. So you succeed. So tell me how you succeed. You can describe that.
While the guard is still focused on Brayzen, I simply I move lightly on my feet, and I simply stab my short sword straight into their back.
All right.
Into middle of the torso, aiming upwards. Inside of their chest.
Mm-hmm. So this is a killing blow, correct?
Oh,
that's your
yeah.
intention? Got it. Absolutely. I think they... Ooh, that's a good complication. You're having trouble getting the sword out. And as the sword is embedded, they collapse over with the sword still inside and kind of roll over such that you see their face, and as you see them bleeding out more gold instead of red, and as the gold blood is emptying and the gold is receding from the face, you see what was this handsome young face just start to wither and age and just open up into a scream.
Another ruin roll?
I think so. I want to roll one in real life.
It sounds like that.
Sure.
I rolled a 1.
That's the scariest thing I've seen from up close today. So
sure.
This game makes you want to roll 1.
Damn! How many high rolls can I have?
Are you
Zero.
at 5 now?
5 this time, so I'm at 5.
Okay, so I need to get you... I owe you a couple complications now.
Circle.
I love how you put that. Like, oh, I owe you something. Hold on, one moment.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do.
allow me to repay you.
I've cashed in another one before. Well, I've incurred another debt before even I've cashed first one.
So, what I was going to say for your first one is that maybe Loran brushed some of that gold blood that dripped off onto them at the beginning. Maybe just instinctively to notice it, they brushed some off, and in doing so, they got some underneath their nails. Which then, when they look at their nails later, it's kind of spread so that the nails are kind of like gold in appearance. So that's condition 1. If that's okay with you.
I was almost thinking,
yeah.
What if it was a compulsion to kind of flake it off?
Ooh.
That's just where my brain went, so don't feel like you had to add that.
Second complication being I've actually focused now on this hand and I can't stop.
So I'll say complication, because you took the ruin roll, you'll be able to get your sword out of them. Initially, that was going to be my complication. So you've still got your weapon, but it's let me think on condition number 3 for Loran.
Okay.
Sorry, so it's okay. Just to recap, Brayzen has started leading the 3 guards away. 1 guard is still up in the trees with Desan. Paris has bound the guard in the back, and Loran has just killed the guard in the middle. Let's flash back to Desan. They are where we left things there. The guard is clawing at the throat, and it's as they twist in the tree. You notice the same thing that Loran, I believe, noticed before, in that they've got this crest necklace hanging from them. So you managed to catch the one that has what you believe to be the key.
Okay.
But they're still wriggling about.
I think what I'd like to do, and this is definitely a risk, I would like to swing myself down, and with the weight of my falling body, try to since I've kind of tied the rope off, I'd like to use the weight of my body to maybe hopefully snap the neck by grabbing onto the body.
I like it.
So instead of trying to,
So there's obviously some risk there in terms of sticking that landing.
Definitely.
So
I'm trying to think if any of my skills apply to that. Because what I've got is hunting, trapping, and beasts, and deception. I don't feel like any of those really apply.
I don't think so either.
To jumping down on someone. So if anyone wants to throw me a bargain, by all means, please.
Yeah. And you can also, of course, take a dark die since you are risking.
Ooh,
I feel like you're risking your body there.
I will throw a dark die in there. But if someone else wants to throw a white for a devil's bargain.
Yes.
Rope burn. You could get rope burn from.
Could do.
I'd say as a result of that, it makes it more difficult to. Kind of like what we've already covered for Paris.
Right, like I've got, yeah.
Dexterous activities will be a bit tougher.
Okay.
Or you could twist your ankle when you land.
I'm thinking twisted ankle. Yeah.
I like
I like the idea of not being able. It sounds so weird out of context. I like the idea of not being able to run away from danger.
Yeah. So it's just as a reminder, the devil's bargain will happen regardless of how the roll goes.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm in for the ankle.
All right.
Because I need my hands for stuff, but yeah, feet. Well, they're both 3s.
Okay, so that's...
It's not great.
Oh, no, that is not good.
So I can add another dark die, correct?
Oh, see, you'd be able to if the dark die wasn't equal to or higher than your highest light die. So unfortunately, we cannot add one.
Interesting. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. So, since it's a 3...
Mm-hmm.
You fail, and things get worse. The GM describes how. The GM also allow you to succeed, but things will get worse in some other way.
Okay.
Okay, I like that. I think I'm going to allow you to succeed. You do snap the neck of this creature, this guard. We said sprain your ankle as you pull off that landing, as a result of the devil's bargain. What's your ruin again? Sorry.
My ruin is 3.
Okay, so it does not go up from the ruin roll.
Yeah, since it's got blood and stuff, or the gold, I should say. Maybe it's a similar thing of I get some on me, since I was clearly falling onto it.
I think the way things are going to get worse is that this one, as the neck breaks, actually, instead of just the whispers that have been coming out of everything, there is a loud scream. That will definitely attract the attention of things in the forest, making the forest is not going to be hospitable, or not going to be. The forest is going to get more dangerous quickly here. And same thing happens with the face withers as this scream is just pouring out, almost like it's screaming away whatever manufactured youth it had.
Yikes! Okay.
And you all hear this scream. But you got the key.
Yay! So I think Desan would probably shout, "We should run!"
Meow. You hear the trees above. You just if you look up, you just see the cat almost just like shaking its head disappointedly.
Fools. Peasants.
So you all hear Desan saying to run. I'd say you can tell where they are at from their voice. Also, the big scream attracted you in that direction.
I've been running.
Yeah, but where have you been running to, friend? Let's read.
Away.
Let's get back to Brayzen.
I've been running away. I've been running around just like kind of like in circles, really, just diverting these people around to be taken out systematically by my allies. And are there any left?
There is, following you, there's one.
Yeah.
It did become more aggressive and is following you. It's not full on running. Let's say that it is power walking at you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna lead its power walk over towards the soldier, if I can locate them.
Okay, so you're trying to circle back straight towards Loran.
Yeah, because I can't fight this thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll say let's make it a risk roll so that you can maneuver yourself back in that direction without encountering further danger.
May I cast a ritual at the same time?
So, what do you have in mind? Let's play
I was
this out narratively.
I was gonna push this thing back in time a bit and give myself even a further advancement as I'm running from it towards the soldier. So I have more time to prepare and let Loran know that it's coming.
I could say you can make that a part of this roll. So I'd say you get a skill for this, and you have a dark dice that you have to include from the ritual.
Got it. Yeah,
and then would you like a devil's bargain?
No, I'm gonna go with. Don't give me an idea. I'm just gonna go with this roll and hope for the best.
That's okay. That's fine.
All right. That is terrible. I think maybe I don't know. I got a 6 on the dark die and a 3 on the light die.
So not terrible in that. What is your ruin currently? Is it 2?
Oh, yeah, it's a 2. So that goes up, right?
Yep. So it's your ruin is going to go up to 3. Welcome to the at least the 3 club. But the 6 means you completely succeed, and you tell me how you do it.
Ah, okay.
And it's I will get you with a condition too.
Okay, yeah. So as I'm running, I'm gonna turn around backwards and just continue my run, but backwards for a moment, and just sort of like wave my hands around like I'm drawing a silhouette around the person, and then I just sort of push back, like that Avatar kid. I don't know. I haven't watched the show, but he does things with his hands and stuff happens. So that's what I do, but it's with time.
I love it. Yeah, you completely managed to outmaneuver this guard so that nobody is in front of the guard. The guard's essentially facing into the forest now. Knows the direction y'all are heading, so can turn around to you. But realistically, given the time advantage you just got for the group there, and the fact that Paris still has the other guard bound, y'all could potentially make it away without fighting them at this point, if you'd like. I would say the one thing you notice as a result of this will be your condition from your ruin going up is you scratch a little bit at your face where that spider bit you. Yeah. And it's like there's already a scab there.
Oh no.
But it feels harder than it should be. It's almost like rock. And let me know if you've got something that's reflective where you could look at your face, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, I'm a fop. I have a mirror.
Yeah,
I have a hand mirror.
It's almost like gem, the scab. It's almost like ruby. And there's a few, just the slightest bit of like red lines coming from it.
Oh, that's terrifying. Okay.
You made it.
I will put some makeup on that. That'll cover it up, right?
Yeah. Yes, and I do have another condition for Loran, but I will unveil it because it's you needed a third one from your ruin going up, but we will unveil it when it comes up in play. It will be. So yeah, y'all are back together presumably now. How would you like to proceed?
A question: are all the guards dead or otherwise incapacitated?
There is one that is still incapacitated from Paris's bind.
Okay.
The other one is in the process of turning around and coming in your direction, but you all have a lead on him.
Okay. I think Desan would have probably grabbed the like crest from around the neck and bolted for where they were at the fence.
Bolted as much as you can on your sprained ankle.
Yeah,
So
like kind of
it's-
like hobbling along and pulling along on trees.
I would like to assist
yeah.
Desan's
Okay.
walking.
Yeah, definitely.
Once I notice.
And Loran takes care of the guard.
Oh, okay. So
That
it's
was-
Heck yeah, Loran does.
Well, just a branch to the head.
which guard is this? Is this the bound guard or the one that's
The bound guard, yeah, because I assume the bindings are not infinite.
So the bind isn't infinite, and you're not at risk from that guard. But if you take the time to engage the bound guard, I will say you have to make a risk roll to see if the final guard catches up to you.
Okay, so if we are okay with leaving the guard be, then in the rest of time I don't need that personally. my life won't be made complete by dealing with this guard.
And it's we should say that now that we have somebody who is at 5 ruin, there is a mechanic for dealing with that called a reduction roll. The forest, or in this case, the estate, wants revenge. Humans have stolen its secrets and its gifts and given nothing in return. When your ruin reaches 5, you may now reduce it by acting in the interests of the estate. Destroying treasure, preventing the use of rituals, or sabotaging your fellow treasure hunters' exit from the estate. You should do these acts in a way that does not draw attention to yourself. The more it looks like an accident or simple bad luck, the better. So every time that you act in the interest of the estate or against the party's interest, you can roll a die. And if it is lower than your current ruin, you get to decrease your ruin by 1.
Oh, that's nice. So
You still have your conditions, but the ruin, you're not on the verge of becoming lost to the estate.
So yeah, Desan is hopping away with Brayzen's help. And Loran nears to the guard with the dagger in their hand and pretends to stab them.
Okay.
That would be acting in the interest of the estate, right?
Sure. We'll say yes. We'll say you're trying to deliberately mislead your party into thinking that one of the guards has been dealt with. Is that what I'm picking up on?
Yeah, that's what Loran would like to do, because the madness makes him to.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say that essentially the rest of the group is kind of moving, looking back a little bit, but you do not have their full attention on you. And so you can make maneuvers like you're going to do that and then leave. But I would recommend that they hustle, as that other guard is still coming. And yep, you can roll a light die. And if it is not a 6, you can, or if it's not a 5 or a 6, then your ruin can go down.
Guess what? 6, of course, because why not?
So your ruin does not go up from a reduction roll. It just does not go down.
Okay.
So no harm there. All right. So you all have the key. You all have
Straight
this.
to madness, Loran goes.
Yeah, so it's taking that crest that they had around their neck. If you go to the site that Loran found in the gate, you could put that in and act. Though essentially, it kind of it doesn't reveal a gate, but it almost, you activate some kind of mechanism where like a small like switch swings open, and it's almost like the hedges there weren't quite real. Like they retract back. So you are able to, if you would like, travel through the opening into the hedges.
Yep. If I can still hear the guard behind me, Desan is definitely moving in.
Yeah. And it's just whispers. It's just all whispers still. Yes.
Gotta get away from this thing. Come on.
Ferraz will follow. Yeah, I'm ready. Just run on in, cradling.
I'm ready if I want to open the hedge.
Loran's closing the group.
All right. As we move from ring 1 to ring 2 of the incursion, do folks?
Is there a way to remove the crest to close that again?
I'll say that it can close behind y'all, and you can take the crest with you.
That would be ideal.
Yep, it can. As far as you know, the guard creatures do not have a way inside.
Okay.
Would folks, as we move to the second ring, would folks like a break, or are we okay to keep going for a bit?
Good either way.
Just like a quick 5-minute break, because something somewhat work-related came up that I can resolve very quickly if I just had a second.
Sure. We'll take
I can take a 5, yeah.
We'll take a quick 5-minute bio, and we'll be back in just a few.
Okay. Thank you very much. I apologize.
No problem.
You good?
All right, and we are back. Jay will be back with us shortly. We are back. Jay will be back with us shortly. We are back. Jay will be back. Sorry, I had to mute my stream audio so that we weren't just repeating. But yes, we have made it. We have made it out of ring 1 of the gate, and we have entered ring 2. As our group of treasure hunters finds themselves through an initial hedge and in what, I mean, it's a palatial estate and there's walls of hedges. You assume pretty safely that you're in a hedge maze at this point. So yeah,
Right.
Desan is limping a bit at this point. I'm not sure who all in the forest noticed their fall, but they are kind of picking up the back of the group for now.
Paris would probably have noticed and offered to help out if he needs it. You know, I know some good herbs that he can take. But...
Yeah, we'll hold off till Jay gets back to see if they accept that.
I'll wait till they're back.
Yeah. Who is leading the way through the hedges? The gate seems to have closed behind you, and whatever the fake barrier is that was behind the gate has sealed up as well. So you do not have eyes on the guards. They supposedly do not have a way in, but you still hear that muffled whispering coming from that side of the bushes.
Loran is still distracted by the whispering, and now with the golden nails kind of attracting their attention. Well, they are very... what would be the good word be? Distracted, actually. Yeah, very distracted. But if you want me to lead the way, I will do.
Sure. It makes sense you're distracted too, because Paris is talking to Desan about something, and it might not be you, but what if they might be talking about you? What would Loran's approach be to a hedge maze? Are they an always turn right person? Are they what are you thinking there?
I'm too distracted to actually think about it. The estate is somewhere there. I try to keep a steady direction. I pretend like I actually managed to do so.
And that's fair.
I believe in myself more than actually I can lead my way through, but it doesn't. I don't have time to worry about this now.
Yeah, and at least at this point in time, you knew where the gate was that you came through. So you know that the compound's probably opposite that. So you've
Like-
got a direction.
Like somewhere there.
All right, so it's Loran is leading the way, more confidently to the group than maybe to themselves. Brayzen, what are you getting up to?
Just reluctantly following, trying to keep an eye on the area. I'll stay sort of towards the back and just try and keep my head on a swivel for any of these other terrifying things.
That's okay. It's as you keep going through the hedges, you notice that it's not just, plain green like blocks, like it's not like low res Sims polygon hedges type thing. It's kind of interweaved in between each of them. It's these just vibrant exotic flowers that are definitely not local to the area, just on glance. You've never seen any this colorful, or these shades of like purple and red and gold. And it's the smell. There's like almost like an inebriating smell coming from the whole place. Welcome back. We are in a hedge maze.
Concern.
Loran is leading the way. Paris is offering her medical skills in helping you out.
I was actually thinking about that. Yes, I would in fact enjoy some less horrible ankle pain.
Sure.
What kind of things are you offering?
Well, I brought a few herbs with me. If you want to maybe take the edge off. It kind of helps you out with that pain.
I think the way the Desan is, I don't think they're even going to blink at your offer of herbs. I won't even ask what they are.
All right.
So I would chew on them, or however I'm supposed to imbibe them.
Oh yeah, I'll come up with some weird list of directions on how to properly
chew 5 times on the left side, 7 times on the right, no more.
Exactly.
No less.
Only swallow half of it and let the rest of it sit on the roof of your mouth for about 10 minutes, and then swallow the rest of it.
But don't touch it with your tongue.
Exactly. You got to swallow it without using your tongue.
Right.
Otherwise, it just completely disrupts the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. So I would do that and follow the directions to the letter.
Is there any inherent risk in the herbs that Paris gave Desan, or or if they are given as intended, they should be good for now?
Probably given it as intended.
Right.
These are just some simple painkillers. It's not any of my more fancy remedies.
Mm-hmm. Not yet, anyway.
I don't want to waste those on an ankle. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's as the pair of you are getting that sorted out. Brayzen, you are leading from the back here. Just kind of keeping an eye out for things. Let's see.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Work stuff just keeps coming up. Can you pass over me for a moment and just assume I'm... this is so ridiculous.
No, that's fine.
I'm just basically being... I keep telling them I'm like in the middle of something.
You are... Do not fret. You are all good. Loran, you notice... Everyone notices the smell of these flowers. It's kind of the longer you're around them, the more of your attention it seems to pick up. And you're almost getting... You had some suspicious thoughts you were getting lost in, but the smell, it's kind of bringing your memories back elsewhere. What's maybe a moment of joy from Loran's life? What's like a good memory that these flowers might be bringing them back to?
Good memory. I bet that would be like they were still like 17, 18. They were about to start promising military career with the backing of their father and family. Like a typical case of when things were still good.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of in that memory is is it your father and family that are kind of like the good anchors there? I guess if there's a person that stands out to you the most from that good time.
Oh yeah, that would be the father,
All right,
the head of the clan.
that's good to know.
And
Yeah.
now that oh, damn you, damn you.
No, it's okay. It's
Well,
just a good memory.
And it was a good time, but now memory of father brings also the memory of the revenge I need to take on my enemy for killing them, for killing my father.
Yeah.
But before that, the life was good.
All right. Paris and Desan. It's when you think back to happier times. Who is in your memories with you?
Paris is probably remembering her former teacher before things went sour. Just remembering back to like learning everything that she was learning when she was young, and just picking up on all these skills and just feeling really just confident, like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah. How about Desan? Who do they see?
They would probably see. Let's see. How do I want to word this? They would probably see the person that was teaching them how to hunt, kind of like a game master almost, like a grounds master, really. Just saw like someone who was in charge of the hunts or was organizing things like that, and the learning thereof, the happy memories are things like running through the woods in the middle of the night after quarry and things like that.
Okay. Perfect. This is all very good information. Yeah, I'd say y'all are getting kind of caught up in just the smell of this place. For some people, it might smell like, roasted game from a hunt. It's maybe if in Paris's studies, for whatever reason, they really loved the anatomy portion, and that formaldehyde smell is actually a good memory for them. But it's, even if not a good, just the smells are reminiscent of those times. And I think you all are thinking of those times as you kind of stumble into a more open area here. And you see this marble extravagant fountain in the middle of this clearing, kind of with 4 or 5 different spokes of paths deeper into the hedge maze leading off from it. And the water in this fountain is still running. It is like clear, pristine, sparkling water, but it's like the fountain is almost like gushing to the point that it's overflowing the pool at the bottom, and it's this contrast between this brilliant looking fountain and then all the land around it is just muddy and overrun with water, and the plants all around it are just soggy and dead. And it's kind of, as this opening comes up, y'all are hit with kind of another sense of that smell, and it's your memories that you were focusing on. They almost start to warp a bit. Desan, instead of the learning of the hunter that's teaching you, instead of the studies of going through the woods, catching, cooking game, that kind of thing, you're remembering the two of you around a campfire, cooking something that you caught, and it starts warping to the two of you at a feast, dressed more fancy than you had ever been. These are not your clothes, you've never worn these, but it's this meal that is, besides just the meat that you would have caught, just all of these foods from parts of the world that you've never seen, and you've never seen, this isn't your memory, but it keeps playing. You're thinking of, the more you try and focus on the hunter that trained you, it's the less you remember those lessons, and the more you remember, this is the dinner fork that I use for steak versus boar versus, and it's almost more lessons in fine dining. And Paris, kind of similarly to that, you are, with your medical training, you're remembering like positions of the body in anatomy labs, and it starts flashing almost more to positions of the body for like dance instruction and how to behave at a formal party. And it's all of these people around you, except for that one anchor. It's all just blurred faces that you think they're smiling, but there's nothing behind it. There's no face there. It's just the general idea of smiling with no actual warmth, except for you and your instructor. And it's not right, but you're losing the ability to pin down why. In Loran, I think something similar, where it's, instead of thinking of your family as you're completing your military training, you're picturing more like a family game of like polo or something like that, some extravagant activity where there's no actual risk to you, where you're being asked to provide very little and it's just all luxury and sitting back. And again, the faces besides your father, the faces of the rest of your family are already starting to blur too into these just like vague general senses of expression instead of actual people behind them. And I'd like everybody to make a ruin roll. Okay.
1 here.
Oh no, Loran. What did Loran get?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That's a 6.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
no. So sorry.
All right. So, when a ruin reaches 6, it's not generally good. It is...
At least you made it to circle 2.
Right?
So, becoming the forest, or becoming the estate. When your ruin reaches 6, you lose yourself to the wilds that have been growing inside of you, and you become a twisted monstrosity in service to the estate. This is an important moment. Everyone focuses on your last flashes of lucidity before you either run screaming into the estate or turn violently against your fellow treasure hunters. Hand your character over to the GM to control, and either create a new character or exit the game. What I will propose instead of that, since we're still pretty early on, is I will shoot you another condition. I'll shoot you some conditions in private if you'd like to keep playing as Loran for a bit. Is that okay?
Please do.
And we will find a good opportunity. Once something is revealed, we will then kind of turn on things. Does that feel okay? All right.
The amount of typing that
Sorry.
he's doing is so concerning.
So, I've got a good idea for how that'll play out. Okay, we've got some time there. I'd say those of you that everybody else was good, right? Desan. Okay. So it's your memories are still becoming twisted, but something snaps you all out of it. I think it's almost the jingle of a bell, and you notice sitting at the perch, like, of this fountain, somehow out of touch of any of this gushing water, is this conceited ass cat that is just glaring at you all. And I think the bell from around the cat's neck is kind of what snaps you back to reality. And you all also notice that Brayzen's not here. You all kind of lift yourself off of your knees, having collapsed to the ground. And Brayzen's not really around.
I have an idea. And this is something Desan would say to the both of them. Our senses are not strong, but that cat's are. If Brayzen is lost, I think that cat might be able to find him.
What cat? There's a cat?
Oh no.
Yes. Paris does not see a cat.
I would like to try an inhabit ritual. If I am indeed seeing a cat, if I didn't read that incorrectly.
I mean, you are seeing a cat, yes.
Okay, good. I would like to inhabit the cat.
Sure.
So
there is risk here, and since you're using a ritual, there's going to be a dark die included.
Okay. So now is that a white and a dark die, or just one dark?
Do you have a skill that applies?
I'm trying to think. Beasts. I am skilled in beasts.
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna not do a devil's bargain on this one.
Sure.
I want to survive just a touch longer, just a little bit. I want to see where Loran goes. So that's a 1 on the white and a 3 on the black.
1 on the white and a 3 on the black. Okay.
Yeah.
So
which means I can't even add a dark die.
Nope. But your ruin doesn't go up. You just fail, and things get worse.
So I guess the real question is the cat actually there?
Let me see. You fail and things get worse. So it's you reach out to this cat.
Mm-hmm. And for inhabit with Desan, it's very much almost like imitating what the animal's doing to kind of get in the mindset of it before the inhabiting takes place.
Mm-hmm.
What if, and hear me out, what if the cat is there or real, what if it goes reverse?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I am the cat. The cat is me.
Yeah, I think temporarily, if it's okay with you, Desan, the posture just changes, kind of stands up more straight and just takes these long, purposeful strides. And without saying anything to you, Paris or Loran, just strides off and is walking away.
Desan? Desan?
No response.
Until Loran, where is he going?
So I would say, as a consequence of things getting worse, and what the urgency that Desan is walking, you all can follow you could go off on any path you'd like, but if you follow Desan, I think you lose any chance to pick up on Brayzen's footprints or anything like that. And also then would obviously have to find, if you wanted to come back here to get to a different path, would have to find your way back.
I'm gonna roll it off. Even Desan, odd Brayzen. Oh, that's a cocked die. Of course it is. Desan.
It's telling you to choose your own path.
Yeah, I'll follow Desan. I'm a little confused, but I'm curious, and maybe I gave him the wrong amount of herbs. Maybe this is a side effect. I need to study this, to see what happened.
If nothing else, this will make a good case study.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. Loran, do you follow Paris?
Okay, so Loran was succumbed to their memories for a moment, but now kind of wakes up, seeing that the group moves and Loran follows.
All right. Yep, and I think I was saying in private, just since we're playing this a little bit different to give Loran some more time, absolutely feel free to keep making decisions for Loran. Any point where I think something more would kind of take over from the estate, I'll let you know. Yeah, it's... Are Paris or Loran, they're following Desan, are they trying to stop them, or are they purely observation mode?
Pure observation mode from Paris. I'm in my... Oh, yes. I'm taking notes. I've whipped out a little notebook.
Loran Sorry. Loran has no idea what happened actually with Desan because they were up front first and then lost in their memories. So Loran catches with Paris. Where are they going? Loran asks.
I don't know. He's just going this way. I'm following him. As her voice gets louder as the sentence ends.
Yep. You are
Hey,
projecting.
Desan!
Yes, Desan. I would
Yells Loran.
say, as y'all are wandering through a pathway, Desan turns a corner, and you just hear some hissing coming from around the corner. And it's Desan. You pop back at this point, and you're not sure where you're at now. You're not at the fountain anymore, but it's these. You're kind of. I guess this looks almost like a doghouse, but there's like two peacocks that just come strutting out of it. Like the tail feathers are shining like you'd be questioned to think that there's actual like gems encrusted in them, and they're just stomping around back here, and you notice they're like a crunching as they step, and you see that they're just walking over the bodies of all of these like tinier little sparrows and things. Like birds that like clearly were not able to sustain themselves here as a result of the peacocks taking up the spot. And you're hissing.
Am I on all fours hissing?
Would you like to be?
I would.
Yes.
It's not a phrase I thought I'd get to say today.
And I'd say if you're trying to kind of stand up and right yourself again, you kind of get a head rush as you get another whiff of those flowers, and your hunt instructor is totally blurry now. It's almost you're picturing more besides like the feast with like all these meats that you were at before. You're now almost picturing more just laying about, like laying in the sun on a couch, food being brought to you at demand, bell chimes to get things for yourself. This life of elegance that you know is not yours, but the memories are there. And I mean, why isn't it yours? Because you deserve it.
I think given that, Desan would probably strut in like they owned the place.
Yep. Paris and Loran, you are free to follow all of this. At any point, you are free to. Nope, this is too weird. I'm turning around. What would you like to do?
I'm enthralled. I'm still following. I think this might be a side effect of my herbs that I gave him, so I need to research this some more.
Mm-hmm.
And Loran tries to catch with the sun, like physically catch with them.
Yep, I will say to move through this area, to move past these peacocks, this is their territory, and God, what are those birds? Y'all know what cassowaries are?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not quite that bad, but like there are some sharp talons on these peacocks. How would y'all? They are strutting about like this is our space. You all are not. I don't see your elegant jeweled feathers. You do not belong here. How would you like to try and pass through these peacocks? Because it is risky.
Well, I said what I would want to do before even thinking if I can. I would like to, but if I can, maybe try our way around. Like, it's a maze, there must be another way. Like, rookie mistake, but Loran doesn't think about it now.
I have a crazy idea.
I like crazy ideas.
So Desan is so caught up in these memories of being kind of weighted on hand and foot that seeing these two peacocks strut around as though they're better, as though it's their finery that is to be lauded and respected. I think Desan would try to inhabit one of them.
Sure, let's have it. Let's have a risk roll. I would say this. I would say it's the same application as when you tried with the cat.
Cool. That's a 6 on the white die.
All right, you are successfully in a peacock if you'd like to be.
I sure would.
And yes, you are getting kind of all of that intention that I described behind the peacocks just now. That is 100% what you're getting in there.
Oh yeah.
That is the vibe that they are running with.
And now I'm looking at this other peacock like maybe I'm a bit better than even the other one.
I mean, you're definitely better than whoever that fleshy thing was that was definitely underdressed, did not belong here.
Yeah.
But yeah, why should you share this spot?
Yeah. They should be serving me, if anything.
Certainly.
So I'm gonna start making some moves to kind of show my, show my dominance, almost like my my wealth of power.
Sure. I will say, definitely still beast skill can apply.
Okay. Feel free to throw a devil's bargain in here, anyone.
Would you like one?
I would love one.
I will say devil's bargain, regardless of how this interaction goes between the two peacocks. The whole party gets caught up in it.
I wish I could say I'm sorry.
Just out of curiosity, how, I'm assuming that you just kind of went limp and still?
Yeah.
And that's all
I'm thinking I go catatonic almost.
Okay. So all we see is that you've been strutting along and then just limp.
Yeah. And then this peacock is all up in the other peacock's business.
Okay. All right. I'm just
Take a case study out of that.
It's happening. She's just making notes.
I like to think that I'm capturing the grim dark tone that this game intended with these peacocks.
So
sure.
Yeah, if anyone wants a devil's bargain in there, by all means, if you have an idea. But otherwise, I'm good with the drags the whole party in.
Sure. So you will get 2 light and a. I guess you don't have to roll a dark since you're not doing a ritual. But if you'd like to risk your mind in this, you're welcome to take one.
Because I'm taking on these new memories, I think that makes sense. I'm almost subsuming who I was to become this peacock, so I'm at risk of losing my true self. That's a 5 on the white and also a 5 on the black.
All right. Would you like to add another black and roll 4 dice to try and get a 6?
No, I'll stick with the 5.
All right. But so wait, a 5 on a black and a 5 on the white? Oh, yep. So you would not be able to re-roll anyway.
I would not be able to, yeah.
And your ruin goes up from this.
Sure does, which means I'm at 4.
Yay.
4 club.
4 club.
Yes.
These are rookie numbers.
Yeah. Even my peacock is powerful enough.
So yes,
I'm throwing you some curveballs.
No, not at all. You tell me how you succeed in this. The whole like I said, the whole party's going to get caught up in it.
Okay.
And I will let you know what the consequence is from being a 4 or a 5.
Okay. I think I would eventually cow the other peacock into, if not submission, at least backing away from me so that I can have full run of the roost, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
But that probably wouldn't stop me from doing that to the party members as well.
Yeah.
I'd probably be pecking at them and doing full displays. Not even a full rune, but I went hard crazy.
No, I will say the consequence, and this will play into one of Loran's previous conditions, is that in your display, Loran gets a bit scratched up, and the rest of the party will notice that like flesh actually gets torn, and like as a doctor, Paris, you see it's almost like gold underneath. Instead of like pink subcutaneous or fleshy tissue that gets torn away, it's almost like a golden statue.
The peacock, or
under Loran.
Loran.
Oh, under Loran.
Under Loran.
Oh, she's gonna look at them like, what is this? You know, and like study it a little closer. She's focusing in on that. Would that be a ruin?
Sure. I think this is an appropriate.
I think
this is Loran doesn't need to roll ruin, obviously, but I think Desan and Paris would both make ruin from this.
Yep. Be like, I was expecting juicy flesh, and all I got was this golden statue.
You got the golden ticket.
Yeah.
Right, I rolled a 3, so we're good.
Likewise.
Nice. Yes. So this does not faze you.
Not remotely.
Totally normal.
I can eat gold, of course.
Yes. So it's the other peacock is kind of towed back in line and is just hunched in the back of their little peacock house.
Okay.
Like still trying to act fluffed up because they're better than everybody else here.
Of course.
But they're your second tier.
Right. Right.
Yes. Paris and Loran, Desan is seemingly catatonic, and there is an uppity peacock in your face.
Good way to put it, uppity.
Loran just, no, I wouldn't say bandages, but just like wraps the wound with some cloth and like nothing happened, and it goes back to Desan. Does Loran know it's a ritual? Does Desan does sometimes?
That's a good question. Have we worked together before this, or was this our first thing? Because I think if I was doing this ritual, I would try to hide it. Like, usually I'd keep it secret.
So I consider this my answer. So yeah, Loran like shakes Desan. Hey, what's going on with you?
Wake up, there's a peacock!
Desan, what do you think it normally takes you to get out of this?
I think either getting hurt or being dropped. If someone like picked me up and then dropped me, that would probably kick me out of it.
Okay.
Could I, with my lore knowledge, kind of recognize that a ritual was going on? May not know exactly what it is, but could...
Sure. I think so, because it's... Well, I was going to say you saw the thing with the cat, but you didn't see the cat.
Yeah.
I didn't, no.
But there's enough like context clues going on.
Yes,
That like
so.
something is happening that's a ritual of some kind, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know like what kind of ritual.
Yeah, I think it's fair for you to assume there's something arcane at work.
Okay. So I'd pass that on to Loran as well. Just be like, as he's shaking him, like, oh, I think they're doing some kind of ritual right now.
Oh. So Loran puts Desan down.
Peacock Desan, I will say. One thing that you do know is you rule this roost, but it's where you'd really like to rule is in the mansion. And you know the best path to that is through your house here. Carry on.
I will keep that in mind. I'll let the other two do whatever they want to do first.
So Loran lacks any knowledge about this ritual, so only reasonable thing is to wait it out. Because if that's the plan, then that's the plan. Desan had to have some kind of a plan.
Yeah, honestly, Paris would just be still making notes. Now knowing that he's in a ritual of some kind, just, oh, what are they doing? Like, okay. Making notes down.
So I think Peacock Desan would strut back, but carefully, kind of like keeping an eye on the other two and on the other peacock to try to make sure that they're not gonna like follow, or at least if they are, they're not gonna follow too close.
No. It's the entourage should not follow that close.
Exactly, right. Let them announce me first, and then the rest can come in if they need. Yeah, I would try to go through my house.
Yes, and it's nothing elaborate. It's a little coop that everyone can walk through if they choose. I mean, little is not appropriate. It is a...
I was going to say, for a peacock, yeah.
Yes. It is a large and fanciful coop, fitting of your status.
Nice. Would I be able to shake my tail feathers to kind of... Not to shake any gems free, but just to see quite how bejeweled I am?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah,
Sure.
I want to get a sense of like how good do I look and how much better could I look?
So, okay. So it's you. This is a sore subject for Peacock because the tail feathers look great, but you know they could look better. And it's, you know, that the shit that they do up in the mansion, where they're like infusing like metals and gems onto things, like actually decorating and presenting bodies in this regal fashion, that's what you deserve. But they stick you out here in the maze.
Like a dog.
Yes. In this pen, which is a nice pen. But you deserve
a nice pen is still just a pen.
Yes. For someone else, it would be a nice pen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would go through and kind of see what's about. See if I can't spot something in the first room that we walk into that I could bedeck myself with.
Yep, I'd say so. It's in passing through the pen. It's essentially like a straightaway in the hedge maze at this point.
Okay.
Leading to a bit of kind of. I'd picture the mansion, the estate, like if you were looking at it from overhead, like a U shape. And you're kind of coming out at like the tip of one of the U's. You're essentially emerging from the hedge maze.
Gotcha.
And so it's, you know, the main living space is further away, but there's something around here, and the memories that are yours now, they always were. You think that you're closest to like you think there'd be some galleries around here? You see like an open archway with that. Paris and Loran, and catatonic Desan. It's are we following, or what are we thinking?
I don't care about this peacock. It's doing its thing. Peacocks are weird. I don't care about that. I'm still looking at catatonic Desan and just, what are they doing? Just, okay. What ritual is this? Like, I'm trying to figure out, what is he doing? Like, what is happening?
You know what? I didn't say it, but with the memories Desan had of the peacock and like the body transformation, I wanted to do a ruin roll there. If we could do that, and then I've got some ideas for how to proceed here.
Sure. You want me to do one? Sorry, just to be sure. Okay. That's a 5.
All
Up to
right.
5. Yes. I swear I'm not trying to off myself early.
No, this is perfect. What do we have? Yes, I will say. Yeah, Desan has, I'd say, a compulsion now to adorn themselves with, jewels and finery.
Okay. You better watch yourself, Loran.
All right, and how is Paris investigating Desan's body?
Probably from a very just, straightforward standpoint. Like, okay, let's look at his pupils. Let's look what they're doing. Okay, so we're marking that down. Like, how are they standing? Like, okay, let's mark their posture. Let's give them a poke. So. She's just going through the motions of like just diagnosing, I guess, and just keeping track of everything that's happening. Because I'm sure, she's probably encountered people doing rituals before, but here is someone just so perfectly standing right there. This opens up the door for some experimentation as far as what happens when someone's doing one of these rituals that kind of, I think she's figuring out it at least removes them from their physical body. So it's like, what can I figure out about what is happening right now?
Yeah.
So she might give a little poke or something with a tip of a dagger or something like that to see how they react.
Yeah, I think kind of this rudimentary physical exam that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I like it because I think you're noticing things on Desan as a result of this maze that you did not notice on yourself or Loran initially. Because I think you notice that eyes are like dilated. I think you could see maybe with Desan's breathing, I think maybe you see some of these spores from these plants kind of going up the nose and with the breathing. So I think maybe you didn't notice those initially as everybody was smelling the flowers. And I think the more you think of that, the more and as you're prodding, your thoughts are a jumble of the medical information you've been trained on, but then also, well, I mean, this is not the fine form of aristocracy. This is not. They'd be useless at a ball. The posture here is terrible on the ground, slumped over like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like you to make a ruin roll, Paris, as these two sets of memories are just clashing. Welcome back, Leland.
This catatonic body cannot hold a perfect plie. 2. I'm okay.
Perfect. Yes. And I will ask Jay, would you like, in this prodding, do you think Desan would be woken up from any of this, or would you like to continue living life as this peacock for a bit?
It's a very difficult question. How hard would you say the poking is?
Very mild. So if anything, just the very tip of a dagger, maybe. Just like as a poke, just to see, just like a pain tolerance kind of thing, to see if you react to a pain.
If it breaks the skin, yes. But otherwise, no.
The intention would not be to break the skin.
All right.
Then I would say probably not.
Okay.
Yes, so, Leland, to catch you up, Desan is currently inhabiting a peacock and has strutted off towards the mansion. And the peacock's really about to enter Circle 3. The rest of our crew, Loran has hit 6 ruin, but we are playing that out a bit still. And Paris is giving Desan's catatonic body a bit of a once-over. Brayzen was separated from the group at an earlier junction. And what has been happening in this maze, from an outside observing perspective of the audience, is that these flowers that are adorning the maze, as everyone is inhaling them, is shifting their memories of like good times with friends or family or anything in the past, and essentially wiping over those memories and replacing them with just lives of richness and aristocracy and nobility, and essentially almost like kind of 2 sets of competing memories here. And a bit earlier on, Brayzen ran off at one point. What do you think Brayzen has done? So why don't you...
Mostly, I would think probably hiding out of just fear for a while from seeing all these terrible things, and then...
Why don't we, just to catch Brayzen up on the fun, why don't we just make one general ruin roll for how this maze has been so far for you? And then we'll incorporate you back in the action.
A 1.
A 1. Perfect. No increase there.
That's a good time to roll a 1.
Yes. So. Yes.
Yeah, so I've just basically been hiding and trying to like sort of get my shit together and failing miserably for a while.
Yeah.
But then eventually coming to and trying to find the group.
And I think you find the group because you hear like peacocks, like just squelching birds, just very loudly.
Oh, no.
So I think that's how you're able to trace your way to the group. And Brayzen, turns the corner, sees Desan slumped over, kind of catatonic, with Ferraz and Loran examining them. And I think at that moment is when it starts to hail. You start hearing just small click, click, clips initially. But it seems to be increasing in volume.
This place is terrifying.
Yes, and it's to catch you up, Leland. One of these two peacocks wandered off in a different direction, which we, the audience, know to be the mansion.
Okay, I'm a little confused by the peacocks. Who is not a peacock? Raise your hand. What's going on? I'm back. Sorry, I got a little lost.
This is
Where
all
did you
secret.
go?
I just
What
got
happened?
a little lost. This place is very confusing. The layout is...
No. So, interjects Loran. I think I remember my way now.
And it's some of this hail is starting to come onto your all's shoulders at this point. It's picking up.
Okay, so is the sun okay?
It's not. The hail is not yet harmful, if that's what decides it. But it may be going that direction.
Loran asks Paris if the sun is okay to walk now.
Yeah, y'all could certainly drag Desan if you'd like.
I mean, I guess it should be safe to move them. I mean, they're not reacting to any of the pain stimulant. Let's just take them with us.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I think I remember my way now.
Okay.
And Loran leads the group.
Yep. So
The
it's. So are you proceeding in the same direction as the peacock did?
I guess.
So
No, I mean, Loran knows the way through the maze, right?
So yes, Loran would know that to get home, you proceed through the peacock's roost in that same direction.
Okay.
Yes, sorry, I caught it there. Yep, so it's Loran starts leading the crew in that direction as the hail is increasing, and if anybody, I would say Peacock J or Peacock Desan notices this first. This isn't ice or snow. It's almost like little jewels that are falling down from the sky. They're getting bigger, so they're hurting more, but they're really pretty. And like, there's the door right there to get inside, but they're really
The
shiny.
heavens are raining treasure on me. So yeah, Peacock Desan would definitely be like trying to pick these things up and like trying to adorn itself with the gems.
Yes. And that is what the rest of the group in walking this direction sees. You see the opening out of the hedge maze into a corner of the estate. There is an open door where there is no hail inside as the size of these gems increase to like softball size. And I think now are going to start causing... There's going to be some harm rolls involved at this point. Yes, so it's... I mean, y'all are at a distance where you can make a run for it, and I'd say anybody that just commits to the run can get inside. Actually, no, harm rolls all around.
Harm rolls all around.
Risk rolls, not harm.
Risk rolls. Okay. Say.
So it's, but I guess my question is, who is making runs for the door, and who is picking up souvenirs?
Of course.
And what is happening with Desan's body?
That's also a good question.
We're dragging the sun. That was the proposal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was wondering if we were still dragging Desan.
Yeah, we are still dragging the sun. So we are running and dragging. Well, that certainly warrants a harm roll, risk roll.
Yeah, and I definitely take my backpack off, dump some things out, and then just leave it open while it's on my back, and then start helping to drag the body again.
Economy of looting. Beautiful.
It's very efficient.
All right, so
Paris, at least, I don't think I'm intrigued, but I'm not gonna stop to try to pick these up because that's not my end goal.
Mhm.
But yeah, I am gonna be dragging Desan along and trying to get there as fast as possible.
Perfect. So yeah, let's get some harm rolls. Just for running, or whatever Peacock Desan would like to do.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Peacock Desan would be so taken with the gems that they would probably not notice the pain right off.
Okay.
Now, is that a dark die, correct, for a harm roll?
I think so. Yeah, let's make Peacock Desan's roll, since Peacock Desan is not running. I think Peacock Desan's role is to withstand this pelting,
Okay.
and continue to collect things.
That's a 5.
All right. So I think the obvious option here is that Peacock Desan is successful in collecting a bunch of gems, but the consequence is that they get really hurt. Does that feel fair?
I think that's fair. Yeah, and or even just get shunted back into their own body.
And that was going to be my suggestion there.
Yeah.
My question to normal Desan, or not normal, that's not fair to the peacock. Human Desan is that abrupt shifting between human, cat, peacock, and then shunting back enough to warrant a ruin roll? Do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Easily, yes. Oh, luck be a lady tonight. No, nope. That's 6.
It's a 6. So are we up to 5?
I think I was at 5.
Were you?
I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
no.
I'm pretty sure I was.
heavens.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if I have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was at 5.
All right.
So I have an idea.
Please. I've got some, but please go ahead.
It would require me to still be a person for a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
I've got some ideas as well.
I'll tippy tap it to you. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Desan would get up and immediately try to run for the door.
I think you would wake up as you were being carried too, and can facilitate that a bit easier.
Okay.
In that case, has anyone already rolled for things other than Desan? Because if Desan is awake, I'll say that y'all can make it inside without requiring another risk roll here. Without having
I already did, but I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, it was a 2, so
Got
it was good.
Unless, was Brayzen trying to catch some gems? Was that what was going on?
Brayzen was hoping for the best in terms of the gems landing in the open backpack.
All right.
But I'll let you interpret that in whatever you want.
Efficient looting.
So while Brayzen is running in, Brayzen is probably not running in as quickly as he should/could.
I'll say let's get a risk roll from Brayzen then.
All right.
Just to catch you up with the rest of the group at this point.
All right. Yeah. A 1. So
you're good. Or no, that was. So is that your light dice? Was that a light dice? What kind of dice did you roll?
Oh.
Because we'll say that you're good at collecting things. That was part of your. So we'll say you got a skill from that.
Oh, okay. I rolled a.
You can now risk body and mind to add a dark dice to it.
Yeah, that's actually what I did.
Okay.
But let me roll, and I got a 6 on the light die.
All right, so you succeed. Yeah. So sorry, run that by me one more time. How did that play?
Sorry, I got a 6 on the light die and a 1 on the black die, and I got the black die because I risked body and mind. Because I was an idiot and was just like, whatever, hold on, let me set up my backpack to where it's conveniently as open as possible real quick while I'm getting pelted with chunks of, amethyst.
No, I mean, it worked out, though. You got a couple extra chunks just to yourself. I'm sure no one else noticed. No one else is enticed by those. That's fine. Yeah, and we move indoors into Circle 3. We are.
Is that where hell is?
We stacked things up heavy for the first 2 circles.
We sure did.
Things escalated more quickly than I expected.
Ooh, yep.
So,
I mean, I'm having fun.
yes. I'd say
yeah.
you all enter into a long, stretched hall that looks part like welcoming gallery, like somebody would host guests here, as well as being covered in like marble statues and paintings and mirrors. You see down the long end of this hallway, like way down, maybe, I don't know distances, let's say a football field. You see another arch, which I think Loran and Desan, you both know that leads into like a dining banquet hall. You just know.
Shall we proceed? We're this far.
Yes, of course. It wouldn't behoove us to leave the guests waiting.
Yeah, says Loran with like some not a happy inflection. Yeah, they probably at the dining room.
So Desan would stride purposely and very elegantly down the hallway towards the dining hall.
That's weird how Loran would do would almost the same, but just less pride, more purpose.
Gotcha.
I'd say probably a Paris and Brayzen as the ones that aren't acting like they own the place, at least not as thoroughly. You'd probably be the ones to notice as you're walking down this hallway. There's these tall paintings on both sides, like as you're going by, but you've never seen a gallery positioned like this. I don't know how many galleries y'all hang out with to begin with, but you've got memories of hanging out in galleries now, even if you didn't before. And they're like weirdly elevated off the ground, these portraits, so that everybody on the walls is essentially looking down on you. Like it's like a power play just from the paintings.
Yeah. Okay. So is that just a design feature, or are they actively following us with their eyes?
Does it feel
Or
like
does
they
is
are?
it one of those? Yeah, it's one of those paintings that feels like it's watching you. Might actually be. All right, got it.
The way this is set up, there's mirrors kind of alternating throughout as well. Like these big, grand, like golden encrusted mirrors on each side as well. And it's if you were inclined to look and see if the paintings, if they were moving around behind your back, you could potentially look in the mirror and try to catch it.
I'll take a peek.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I will.
Sure. Yeah, I think you both notice in the reflection on the mirror, you see yourself. I mean, obviously you see yourselves. It's a mirror. That's what they do. But you're in like these elegant clothes. Like you're not wearing the shit you came in with. You're wearing what you should be wearing, what you know you deserve. But you catch these aristocrats behind you in the paintings, and they're not watching you go, Brayzen, because they clearly they're clearly just showing such disdain for your presence. You see them not watching you go, but whispering about you behind your back and just snickering. And I'd like you both to make ruin rolls.
This is actually something that happens in Brayzen's life already, because he's a lowborn,
Aw.
and he hangs around rich people, so I'm sure they do scoff at his presence quite a bit. It's like one of his main insecurities here. A risk roll. I forget how that goes. I'm sorry. I've been halfway into a conversation.
Sorry, I should have said a ruin roll. So it's just one dark die, and if it's higher than your current ruin goes up by 1.
All right, awesome. I love being ruined.
I say,
I got a 5, and my ruin was a 3. So.
yeah. So welcome to the 4 club.
4th club.
Is that what Paris is at as well?
Yes, I rolled a 1, so
All
I'm
right.
still safe for now.
Perfect. It's. I will say then, as let me look at some conditions for Brayzen.
I don't want any.
Oh, here's a good one, especially considering what we've done so far. You become obsessively fixated on superfluous flaws, like a small stain on a piece of clothing or a crooked decoration, or like a scab just kind of right on the middle of your face.
My face.
It's like all you can see in the mirror. Oh no.
It's weirdly perfect that he froze just like that.
Yeah.
It's oddly fitting.
Yeah.
I thought he was doing it on purpose for a minute.
Yeah, Paris, your ruin is fine. You're doing great. You've got some gossipy paintings, but then fuck them. You don't need their approval. It's you're supposed to be here.
Mom always told me not to listen to gossipy paintings.
Yes. I will say we'll jump back to Brayzen once. Oh no!
There he goes.
Yeah, once we get Leland back, we will jump back to Brayzen. But so, just while we're in this flux, Desan and Loran, what are you all taking in from this room? I mean, I know y'all have somewhere to be.
So you said there's like a mirror adjacent to every painting, kind of thing.
Yeah, let me mess with some stuff here too.
I think Desan would probably be looking at them in passing, but looking at them almost with like a not disdain, but definitely like a sense of, yes, there's a reason you're a painting and I'm not. Like they haven't had time to make a painting of me. I'm moving so quick.
Got it. And is Desan getting distracted by any of these any of these mirrors? Because it's.
I think so. I think Desan's getting a little like just kind of touching things up as they're moving down, like making themselves look a little more presentable.
And Loran doesn't need to look at them because the paintings, Loran knows who's on these paintings, members of which family.
Of course.
That took their family seat, and well, no point at looking at the paintings. They will all go down when Loran deals with the bastards.
Actually, looking at it, you get a glance, and is that another family? It seems like you belong there. It seems like your family.
Well, it should be my family, but when they murdered them, they probably like switched the paintings for their own, right? Or did I leave the paintings of my family to like make fun of them or something?
Sorry, no,
Fucking
this looks like your family.
Huh.
Sorry, I just added another camera just so that we all fit in things. Just so we can see each other. We are a little bit bungled up here.
I was gonna say we're a bit shifted around, yeah.
If that's okay with folks, I'm okay to just keep going, and then when Leland gets back, we'll rearrange things.
Yeah.
If he can make it back. Unfortunately, Leland's power grid is not great, and he lost power. So it
seems like one of those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Loran looking around. This is definitely your family. You remember now. Your family took this house from somebody, and y'all took those paintings down. But this is you all.
Huh. I don't really get it. Anyway, like, No, I get it. I mean, Loran doesn't get it. All those flaxes, like paintings or no paintings, it doesn't matter. There's a blood debt to be paid, waiting for Loran in the dining room, or in the throne room.
Yeah, and I mean it's your nobility. You don't need to worry about art in the meaning of it. It's beneath you. Someone,
Yeah.
you'll pay someone to tell you what it means,
When the
and then
accounts
you'll pay someone else to tell you what you want it to mean.
of blood are balanced, I will think of paintings or art. That's not time. That's another thing for now.
I'd say Paris. You notice Leland does not know if his power is going to come back, so he gave me a bit of free reign here with Brayzen.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you notice he's not left the mirror that he was staring into.
Mm-hmm.
Desan and Loran are still marching on to where they know they're supposed to be. But yeah, Brayzen is just there, and he's like nose up to the mirror at this point. And you see now he had covered it up with some makeup, but now you can see on the side of his face there's just this big, like almost ruby-looking welt there. Oh,
Brayzen, are you okay?
he's just picking at it and picking at it,
Do you want me to help you with that?
and it peels out, it peels off, and you see him holding almost like a tiny ruby in his hand, as just all these tiny little red spiders come crawling off the face. And I think that's a ruin roll.
Yeah, that's definitely a ruin roll.
5.
Yeah, I'm in the 5 club.
Yay!
Yay!
Living on the edge till you fall down.
Finally.
Yeah, here's a good one. Here's a good condition.
Okay.
Oh, where did it go? I liked it. I lost it.
Don't worry, we are all losing it today.
Oh, it was right here, and it was perfect.
Oh,
Where did I
no.
put it? All right, I remember it for the most part, but you just feel this malaise come over you, and there's just a very comfortable looking like fainting couch next to you that looks very inviting. But I think a part of you knows that if you sit and rest there, you're not sure you're gonna get up. And that would be lovely to be able to just rest there, but you are expected. Do you give it a moment? Do you give it just a try?
No, I'm expected somewhere. I'm tired, but I'm gonna suck it up. Like we gotta get there.
Yeah. I'll say as a condition going forward, you're just going to be drawn in by these very comfortable looking things going forward, essentially beckoning you to rest.
That's me in real life,
Yeah.
so that's not gonna be hard to roleplay right there. So
Exactly, because you're above it all. That's what the couch is telling you. It's anybody worth it will be waiting for you.
there we go.
So yeah, it's if you'd like to leave Brayzen, they're still picking, they're still picking and peeling, and you notice now something that, kind of even going down along the neck, there's just like these ruby veins that are just like pulsing from that location, like spread to his hand. I mean, it's definitely a medical oddity.
Oh yeah, I'm very interested, so I don't want to leave him behind. Like, hey, Brayzen, come on. We need them here. We gotta keep going. I'll try to like lead him away from the mirror.
It's got. I can do better. It's got to be perfect. I could do better.
It's already perfect. You got this. It's okay.
He's just peeling away the skin still at this point, and
Do you want me to do that? I've got the training. I can make it perfect. I promise. I can. I can do real good.
It's in the way. It's so shiny underneath, and it's all in the way.
It is. It is shiny. I keep forgetting to make my voice louder as I go, but I am.
Can you make me shine?
I can make you shine. So shiny.
What do you do for Brayzen to get him to come along or do whatever?
I will let me just shiny chrome. Let me promise. I'm gonna just promise. Like I swear to you, Brayzen, I can make you the most beautiful human. I can do this. Just come over here, and I can go to work, and I promise it'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect.
And I don't think I'm gonna make you roll. I think he's going to believe you, and he's gonna escort you. He'll go arm in arm with you if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah. Escort me. There we go.
Yes, and so as the group reaches the end of this long gallery, we will move from Circle 3 to Circle 4. And we will enter the feast in the ballroom. So, you all enter this large, opulent banquet hall with just, like, long, stretched out, impractical table. Like one of those things where, like, geometrically, you're not going to be able to talk to or interact with 99% of the people at this table. You won't be able to see anyone past, like, the two next to you. But, that doesn't matter, because you don't need to interact. Most of those people are... Who needs them? All the good people will be around you anyway. And you see a lot of those seats are already filled with these... Mannequins aren't quite the right word. Some of them look like... almost like porcelain people. Kind of seated down in a seating position, almost miming eating food with the fine silver up to the mouths, but not actually going through with it. You see some folks that look more like the guards did outside, where there's flesh there, but there's these just like vibrant metallic lines kind of holding it all in place and perfect looking. And the mouths never open. It's just a smile, so no food goes in. They hold up their drinks and mime drinking, but nothing actually occurs. And you see 4 seats in pretty close proximity, if they draw you to them, or if you are drawn to them.
Now, it's a question from the player more than the character.
Please.
I know I'm at home, but I'm not sure yet at what moment. Before bad things happened? Or after bad, or is sort of after good things happen again? Did I
I think Loran's memories have shifted to such that the bad things didn't happen. This is your family. Okay. This is your family's estate. This is where you're meant to be.
Oh.
And everyone here is you. You are responsible for.
Okay. So here. Yeah. Time has passed. I was the heir to the fortune, so now I'm probably. Yeah, that's probably even my dinner, right? Oh yeah, I invited them here.
Absolutely. It's a little gauche of them to be eating without you, to be honest.
Well, it was also rude for me to be late, so.
And you hear just this loud, upbeat orchestral music coming, like almost like think jazz band. And it's these like bronze and porcelain, like again, mannequin people holding the instruments. The instruments aren't moving, but they're making all the sounds that they should be.
Loran wanted to actually gesture their guests to sit at the table, but now Loran thinks they are a little underdressed. Like, where are my servants with my robes?
Well, I mean, there's bed chambers elsewhere. There's the Lord's bedchambers, connect directly to this room. And if you, just from a viewed perspective for everyone, there's essentially this long table with one big-ass chair that's totally empty at the head of the table, with stairs leading up to a door that is absolutely shut. All the other doors to this room have been thrown open, and you hear, even though you hear chatter, like party talk, flooding in from all the other doors, including from the gallery behind you.
Yeah,
even though you just came from there.
They always whispering behind my back. So I yell for the servants to offer my guests some refreshments in the meantime, and I'm going to change into my, well, party robes with B.
Now, are you moving towards the Lord's chamber for this, or the head of the house's chamber?
I am moving where my memory leads me.
Okay.
That would be the estate in this case.
Yeah, I think you would walk in that direction. Desan, what is Desan's feelings about this?
Desan thinks it's all a bit trite. This whole affair is a little too low, not like low end, but it's just not up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think Desan thinks they deserve better than this paltry offering.
Is it salvageable? Desan could of course save it, but would Desan, or would Desan retire to better things?
I think Desan would not only endeavor to make the party better, but would demand it.
Yes.
And that, I think, is the point where I will relinquish control.
Yes. Before we move with that, what are Paris's thoughts of the room?
This is nice.
I mean, from the glimpses of your life that you came here for, it's you see there is so much wealth in this room alone. Between just the silverware on this damn table could keep you set for life. But Paris is unique. Paris came here for some specific knowledge, so I don't know that would be a draw for her.
She's intrigued, and definitely this would be a good networking opportunity. Just kind of get my name out there, get it spread around. But would I also notice this closed door at the back of the room?
Absolutely. It is. The architecture of this room is such that all eyes are drawn to it immediately. Okay. Because it's like behind the velvet rope.
Then she is definitely okay. If there's something going on, that's probably where it's going to be. So she's going to want to go that way.
And I would say Paris and Loran, it sounds like, are both making their way to that door. Desan, I think, in trying to get this party started, for lack of a better term, I think they go maybe up to this porcelain band, and kind of I think maybe grab, like, I guess I don't know if a jazz band would have a conductor. But, essentially, I think they would start directing it. And I think
I would think they would pick up one of the larger, like, silverware pieces on the table and use that as, or even like a candlestick, and try to use that as a conductor's wand.
Absolutely. And I think as Desan is making these motions, you just see kind of spreading out from their back, just like these blue and these turquoise, like almost like wings, for lack of a better word, just gem encrusted. And as Desan turns around, it just kind of spreads all over, so that it's almost like scales over this body, and they just radiate this beauty as they take control of this orchestra and pop open the tempo, and all of the seated guests stand up. All of these either metal-enhanced fleshy things, or automatons, or porcelain mannequins all stand up and start dancing wildly in pairs, just spinning and spinning. And they're essentially like almost like tops circling the room. Picture like the Magic Teacup ride at Disney. And that's these metal creatures all spinning around the room, and Loran and Paris are having to navigate their way through this. More of these things are flooding in from all of the open doors, to the point that where this room was pretty scarce with the exception of the table, it is now full. All of these people are they're spinning, but the eyes, some of them have fleshy eyes, the ones that are held up with metal. Some are just jewels, and some of them are metal sheens, but all eyes are on Desan. And I would say it's going to it's going to take a... I don't think Loran has to make this, just as a result of how things are going. But for Paris to navigate to this room, to navigate through these creatures, it's going to take a risk roll.
That's fine. I don't really have anything to help me with this, so I'll probably need to make a bargain.
Yes. Jay or Echinorlax, do y'all have anything to offer?
Not yet.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Something that will definitely happen regardless.
I'm wondering if maybe you get some like stragglers that follow you along, almost like they're trying to drag you back to the party.
Okay. So people trying to invite me to dance in a way?
Yeah, they're almost like kind of getting around you like, yes, please.
Okay,
but like wordlessly.
Okay. I'd be okay with that.
Sure. So you will have an entourage regardless of how this goes.
Perfect. I'm well, I don't know if Paris would be okay with an entourage, but we'll say she is. She's totally okay with an entourage. Let's go. And I'm going to just go ahead and do a dark die as well. Why not? We're already there.
Yeah. There is one more circle, if you wanted to see it. But
if I can make it. Well, the dark die was a 1, so we're okay.
Oh, yeah.
My light die was a 4.
All right. Would you like to would you like to add another dark die and re-roll the whole thing?
I do.
Or you could take, you succeed and there's a consequence is another possibility.
Succeed with a consequence. Let's succeed with a consequence. Let's see if we can at least get to ring 4 at some point.
Yeah. Well, so we are in ring 4. We're
in ring 4. Okay. Let's take a peek at ring 5. Let's see if we can do that.
All right. Okay. So, Echinorlax, did you see my message in chat?
Okay. Writing.
All right. So, I think would Paris be using maybe some of those fake memories that she has to try and navigate this dance to make it through?
Sure. That seems reasonable. Yeah.
All right. I think Loran as your partner then are kind of making your way through.
Loran sees Paris predicament and with the grace of the noble leads her with them through the dancing floor.
And I think in the course of this, the consequence is you're noticing that not everyone is as elegant a dancer as you. Some of these pairs are crashing into each other. And crashing hard. Some of the porcelain party guests lose limbs that fall to the ground, and then dancers just keep stepping on them, crushing it into this fine powder. Some of the fleshier creatures have just gashes on them or big welts and bruises you could see just from the bludgeoning effect of knocking into these dancers. And I think the consequence for you all is that you get knocked into. I think Loran takes the brunt of it, and you see just where there would be a big welt on Loran's arm, in addition to the gold that's just underneath the skin. It's almost like where bruises shouldn't come on that quick either, but it's almost like a marble texture to where a bruise would be, and it looks beautiful. And I think a pair of 3 or 4 dancers that were nearby that knocked into you, I think they're just so impressed with the two of you dancing that they accompany you in the direction of the door. Now, would Loran be, as you're getting close to the door, that the head seat at the table is available? Is that what's drawing Loran's attention?
Well, first Loran has to put their official robes, as apparently no servant seems to be on hand. Maybe they are busy with other guests.
If I may, just because I think Loran would wrap up in this ring before going on to 5.
Yeah.
I think Loran might grab some of the crushed bits of dancers off the ground and perhaps adorn themselves in the robes and fineries of these fallen party guests.
Oh, I thought about something else, about asking Paris for to help me like dress myself. Now I have to remove my old clothes along with my skin.
It's, you know what? You know who I forgot about is our good friend Brayzen, who I think looking at Loran doing that now, essentially stripping themselves down to their finery below, you catch a glimpse back looking at the table and just see like this ruby statue with Brayzen's features that just holds a glass up to you from across the room. And I think this is a risk roll, or not a risk. I think this is a ruin roll for Paris.
Definitely, yeah. Come on, matched. We're okay.
Perfect. And I think, if it's fair, I think Paris and her hangers-on are moving up to the private door.
Okay.
Desan and Loran, would you all like to give any further description? I don't want to rob you all of your exits, so if you've got anything to add on, please do. What is the last view that Paris gets of you?
Oh, I think Loran just as this gold statue, like sits in their place, like they are master of the house.
And I think Desan is leading the band around the room and just washing people out of the way as they're dancing. Like it's just slowly becoming more and more chaotic around Desan, and the music is like picking up in tempo and keeps like syncopating in weird places. It just starts going to hell around Desan. And they just seem to be like wanting more and more, like trying to up it, everything.
All right. Does Paris travel on?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through that door. I've got my.
I can't believe you made it to Circle 5.
I made it.
We are entering Ring 5. We have Paris, and we've got some human. We'll say we have 3 human-ish guests. They are all. I'll say they are all similar to the guards from the beginning, in that these are all young, attractive people. You think, or there's something keeping them that way at least. Mm-hmm. The work has been done. And as you enter just this giant cylindrical chamber, the sky stretches so far up above you. It's almost like a silo, but you swore you never saw anything on the outside of it. When you were approaching the estate, you didn't see anything that reached that high. In the center is just this golden cylinder that goes straight up. No handholds, nothing like that. But if you crane your neck up, you see that it does stop at some point. And it almost looks like blankets and stuff are hanging off the side. And you swear you see what are kind of like the 4 posters of a bed up there. Further past that, you can sort of make out not all of the details from your current position, but there's this sky painted onto the ceiling as well, and clouds, and maybe angels. It looks like some kind of humanoid figures. And below your feet, the floor of this room is a mosaic. It's all just a tile mosaic, and it is just swarms of hordes of bodies. Like if you picture from like an anatomy textbook, for instance, where it's just kind of like showing off the muscles without the skin. It's just hundreds and hundreds of people crawling on top of each other in this image, reaching up like they're trying to climb above the rest. And that's what you see on this room.
Interesting. How comfortable does that bed look?
You can really only see the posts, but I mean, this is the master bedroom, so it's got to be pretty damn good.
Bed. Yeah.
And you actually see something tumble from the side there. It looks like 2 things. One looks like a gold brick that's falling, or gold, not a brick, but yeah, they call those bricks. A gold bar. There we go. It's falling, and it's falling in the direction of one of your party guests. And you notice it, as it's about to impact their head, it morphs into this crown that wraps around them, and they start floating off the ground a bit. And you see what looks like a book falling in your direction.
A book, you say?
Yes.
Oh, she's very interested in this book.
It's about halfway between you and one of the guests.
Okay.
Do you let them get it, or do you try to grab it?
Oh, she's gonna try to grab it. This might be what she was coming for. Yeah. Like, she's really excited.
And I think it's, you grab it. It's a small book, like maybe someone's private journal, and as you reach for it, it almost unwinds itself, like the papers are being stretched out of it, and they wrap around your arm, and you see text just tattooed on your arm, but it's like pearlescent and shining and glimmering, like somebody inlaid gems into you for this tattoo. Did you begin floating a bit off the ground as well? You're still not close to the bed, but you've definitely, I mean, you're above these two that don't have anything.
Can I make out any of the writing that's on my arm? Or is it...
I'd say some of it is diagrams, like some early medical diagrams for sure. You see some drawings of plants as well. You can make you think you understand most of it. You don't think you've lost that much in your time here yet. There's a shake you hear like a rustling above you, and several more things start falling down. You don't see a book this time, but you see like a jewel and a golden scepter, and then maybe a handful of coins falls off as well.
Okay. She's, again, not quite so much interested in the jewelry. She wants more of like this book. Mm-hmm. So she's going to attempt to get to where this book fell from.
So the book fell from the top where this bed is, where everything is now falling from.
She's going to climb up towards that bed, if possible.
Okay. So I will say it's, as you maneuver yourself to this column, you're trying to place hands on it, but it's slick. It's like that. It's like the fence from the beginning where you're not able to get purchase. There's very little friction there. As that's happening, of those three things that fell, two of them are snatched up by the person that's floating with you. And you see the gold scepter just wrap around their arm and essentially become like a wrapping gold bracelet. And the gem just hits them in the eye, and they get the eye is gone, and it's just a shining amethyst here. As they rocket up a bit. They're about a third of the way up to the bed with that. You think you can maybe grab those coins as they're falling, or else somebody on the floor is going to grab them.
Maybe, or let's see if she thinks of this. She does. I'm going to use my hollow ritual and push my spirit up to at least see what's happening up here.
Sure.
Okay.
Please.
Please, indeed. Fingers crossed. Here we go. And why not? I'll go ahead and take a dark die with this. That seems appropriate.
Oh, yeah, you have to if you're doing a ritual.
Yeah. 4?
All right, so success with a complication.
Yeah.
All right, I've got it. I'm all good here. So it's you. So this is essentially like an astral projection type thing, correct?
Yes, that's how I'm picturing it.
Got it. So it's as you're rising up, it's your spirit's able to rise up past the party goer who shot up above you. You look down to where your body was and notice those coins that fell land on one of the other party goers and essentially form like earrings for them. And they shoot up the ground to about the same level that your body is currently at. And you keep rising and rising, and you reach. I think I was saying that the person who's gotten like 3 things is maybe a third of the way up. You keep shooting up to overlook this central pillar, and you see at the top the most inviting king-size bed. Everything is the pillows, the mattress. You don't know what kind of down is in there. Probably some bird that poor people aren't even allowed to know about. But there is, and you see all on top of the bed is just like a dragon's hoard of treasure. Books, vases, gold gems, everything shiny you could potentially think of. But it's so precariously placed that it's all just rolling to the ground. but that never seems to deplete it. There's so much there that and you see just a withered face buried underneath it, just looking so complacent and resting. And each time something falls, you see just a slight twinge of regret, but not enough to actually move to address the problem. And I'd say the consequence now of your 4 to 5 is when you look back down, you see two things. You see that one of the earrings, the party goer that got the earrings, is at your level and has kind of scrambled over to you and is like reaching for you. And you see below that, and you hear below that, the party goer that's still on the ground is screaming. As the mosaic on the ground, the bodies that you saw in there are reaching out of the mosaic and just piling up from the floor. There are just bodies and bodies coming out of this mosaic and grabbing that party goer and pulling them into this just a mass. You're not that much higher up than that right now.
No, she's not. She is going to snap back into her body.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything else falling that she can grab onto?
Sure. I'd say there's whoever's up there might have breathed funny and knocked over a few more things. I think you see, we'll say like a gold encrusted scroll case is falling.
Okay.
Just a handful of like a jade vase is coming down as well, and then maybe like a pretty looking like ivory bird statue or something too. So there's 3 more things coming.
She'll try to catch as much of it as she can.
Yeah. I think the creature above you is able to snatch one of the things out.
Okay.
I think they grab this bird statue, and as they do, it just crawls up their arm. And you see like their garments rip as you just see these big porcelain tattooed wings on their back now. But I think you're able to grab the scroll case and the vase, which again they rearrange themselves to adorn you in their finery. Whether whatever you'd prefer to that to look at. Whether you've got like a jade diadem now, and the scroll case, I'd say as well, starts to unfold, and the information on it again tattoos up your other arm. And it's from these 2 things you're able to shoot a bit up to be pretty much level with the other one, and kind of kick off from the one that was coming at you. But I'd say with each item that you grab, why don't you go ahead and make a ruin roll for me?
Definitely. I'm ready. My body is ready. That is a 1.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. So still grabbing stuff, trying to get higher.
Yeah, so I'd say what you felt in all of this is that with each thing you grab, you just get the memories continue to shift. Like you remember having these passions, like wanting to read, wanting to learn, but it keeps warping in your mind. So these were your studies in your palatial estate. You picture your like Beauty and the Beast Belle style library that was yours at one point and had all of the knowledge you could want. And I think you start to lose the reason you want the knowledge, and it starts becoming more just needing to hoard.
Yes, I need knowledge, more knowledge, everything, just more knowledge. Here we go. 5, I match.
Perfect. I'd say, I don't think we need to. So I'd say you get a couple things this time, and
okay.
Your neck is adorned with jewels. I think more and more of your body just becomes a canvas for this information you keep grabbing too as the books slide down. And you've surpassed the one that was higher up still. And it's as you keep going, whether you deign to look down and see the peasants below you, the people that are below your care, is you can hear the screaming of the party guests as the second one is overtaken by this horde that keeps climbing the room further and further. And yeah, you're almost up at the bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep climbing. I'm gonna try to get there. Plus that bed is probably really comfortable, so I want to lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah. I'd say
Come on.
I'd say this is the last ruin roll you need before reaching the bed.
2.
2. Perfect. So I'm trying to describe. I think by the time you reach the bed, it's the things that you're grabbing, like the silks. They've reworked even the traveling clothes you came in with have been replaced by finery befitting of nobility. Because this is your home, and people need to know that this is, even in this place, they are still below you. That's why you're so here. Mm-hmm. You hear the third scream of the other party guest that was below you, unable to keep up with your frenzied grabbing of these things. And it's now your body is overlooking the same thing that your spirit saw. This hoard of treasure with the king, with what you would imagine to be the Duke resting underneath it. There's room in the bed for more than one.
Oh yeah, there is. And that is exactly what I want to do. She is going to just not dive, but she's going to very gently just lay down on top of all of this treasure and knowledge and try. She knows what's happening now. She's going to try to absorb as much of this as she possibly can. So she is just spread eagle, just laying on top of this treasure to try to absorb all of it.
Perfect. I would like another ruin roll, please.
Please die. Let me go insane. That is a 6.
Yay!
We got there.
It's like you do not have to ever reach 6. There is.
But yeah.
So
I'm 6 now.
Yes, it's.
Join the club.
I think the consequence of this 6, the condition, is you absorb all of the knowledge that has been collected in these halls, and it is plentiful. But it's more like trivia at this point. You've lost the use for it. You've got the form of it, but you don't have the function. As you kind of entomb yourself in this hoard as well, and kind of nestle into this little nest, you look up, and above the God, what do they call it? Like the ceiling of the bed, the silks that are draped across, you can still see through to that painting, which you never really got the best look at before now. But you saw blue skies and just sun and clouds and what looked like angels before. You see now it's nobility, it's kings and queens, and they're looking down at you. They're sneering because you were still below them. You've not been able to ascend to their height here. And you think you're certain you know why. The bed doesn't need 2 people weighing it down. If only the appropriate person was in the bed, it would lift and ascend to its proper height. And it's what scene do we close on as Paris comes to this realization?
Let's use the dice to figure that out. She is going to shove the Duke out of the bed.
Perfect.
It's her bed now. This comfy, beautiful, comfy bed. I need to just lay down and sleep.
Yes.
So comfortable and perfect.
Yes, and if I don't know that she would, but if Paris put the effort to look down at where the Duke lands, she would see the mosaic is back to where it was before. You see an old withered man mixed in with the pile of bodies painted into the floor. You see those party goers that accompanied you into this room, so impressed with your elegance, also worked into the mural now. And you feel yourself almost floating as the bed seems to rise. And you keep getting to the cloud. You're getting to the clouds, but the sneers don't seem to change, and you're not sure. You don't know what else. I think we end with Paris lying there in the bed, contemplating what else she needs to shed in order to overtake these glaring paintings. All right, and that was Trophy. That was Trophy Dark. Oh my gosh! Thank you all so much for playing in that. That was a trip for all of us. I know that was everyone's first time playing and my first time running it. So thank you for cooperating with that.
Ooh.
It's I guess before we do full outros and everything, what were people's thoughts of the game? Not just how this went, but like system and everything too.
Super fun. That's definitely something I feel like anybody can really jump in on and have a good time with, for sure.
Yeah, I really liked that it felt a bit like Powered by the Apocalypse, but with a bit less, like, not so much wiggle room, but like there's very little chance for you to succeed without something going wrong.
Like less room for advancement kind of thing.
Yeah,
where you're like
you're
gaining
really
from your
struggling.
mistakes there.
Yeah. Like even the mistakes, when you like lean into the game, even the mistakes feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The funniest thing was the madder we get, the more madness seized us, the better the flow.
I think so.
Felt to me.
Yeah.
Like when we were becoming mad, when we became mad, actually, like everything just fallen into its place.
I liked this Incursion, this one was called the Decadent Ascent. It's by Luiz, Paulo, Ferraz, and it's when I was picking one to start out with, I liked this just because it wasn't kind of conventional horror, which I know we kind of talked about that earlier, which is like, I don't know if I'm scared, but it was because it's the way that the incursions work for Trophy Dark is you essentially choose. It's kind of a skeleton frame where each one has its own theme, and then you come up with instances that people run into in the rings, and you come up with conditions that people kind of accumulate as their ruin goes up, and then you set just a basis for each of the 5 rings that you're going through. And the theme of this one was opulence, which I thought was just interesting to play through compared to kind of more of the, I guess, what people consider like traditional horror aspects, and kind of just this. I guess I leaned a little more body horror with it, with the gems and the gold and stuff. But I think it was neat doing kind of like the things that people will do to achieve status type thing.
I think you nailed it, honestly.
Yeah,
It was great.
It was a wonderful thing to run through. Oh.
We succumbed to the opulence like it was
lost to the flame.
It has conquered us like something invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we had no chance.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's what I'm going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to do some outros then. What I'd love if y'all could tell all the people watching who you are, where we could find you online, and then any projects that you're in the middle of that you'd like to boost. And that would be great. And why don't we start with... I know it says you are not Jay, but Drakku, would you like to start?
Hello, sure, yes. So I am Drakku. I stream over here on Twitch. Drakku3690 is my Twitch username, and I stream all kinds of video games, usually like Xbox One. I also do a lot of PC games, and I love playing D&D, so I'm definitely looking for more opportunities to stream online D&D games because they're super fun. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me. That's where I'm at.
Perfect. And if you should shoot in Twitch chat or in I know my programs, my brain's not fried. If you want to shoot your Twitch account in Zoom chat, I'll link that too.
Sure.
Jay, who is not Leland, tell us about yourself.
I think we've all lost who we are, really.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm a creative, I'm a writer, I'm a GM and a player. You can find me on my own channel, which is at Alien Jays on Twitch on Mondays and Thursdays, and then you can find me on Raven's channel at the Black Feather Guild on Tuesdays and Saturdays, with Echinorlax and Attack Trick actually on Tuesdays.
And Leland.
And Leland, yeah,
Yes.
that's right. And yeah, Drakku, if ever there's a game that I have going or that needs a player, you are 100% on that list.
Yes.
This was wonderful.
This was so much fun getting to play
I love
with
getting
you.
to meet new players.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think we all worked together in a really weird but magical madness way.
Yeah.
All right. Echinorlax, would you like to go next?
Like I have a choice now. I've succumbed to madness and I have no choice, then I will follow. Yeah, you can find me mostly on Twitter Echinorlax, because I'm not streaming on my own channel yet, but I plan to. You can mostly find me on Raven's channel at Blackfather Girl, and that is Twitch TV/RAVVYN, and you can find me there tomorrow at first 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, 1 p.m. Mountain Time.
Yes, and Raven and the Blackfeather Guild are great. We like has been alluded to, we rated essentially half of our water game from Tuesday nights was all playing in this game. Leopold is not here. I have linked his Twitter in chat. He is great. He is fantastic to play with. Please follow him to see what he's involved in. I will. As for me, I'm Pat. Like I said, I am Attactric on Twitter and Twitch, which, if you're here watching this, you've found me. Hello. Yeah, I'm trying to play more video games on Twitch, but I also am trying to get into running TTRPGs as well. Thank you for everybody for cooperating with the early days of that. It's specifically for the next bit, I'm doing different system one-shots on Thursdays from 5 p.m. Eastern to ideally 8, and I know we ran a bit like an hour over, so I'm sorry, everyone. But yeah, we've got Monster of the Week coming next week. 2 weeks after that, we've got a Capers game coming, which Monster of the Week is full, but I will post up for Capers because we could fit another person or two in there. And then the following weeks in August, I'm going to run something I'm still picking now, but I think For the Queen might show up, and we will run a few other systems too. So I will post some casting stuff on my Twitter for those. But yeah, if you were here, this is still a baby Twitch account, so thank you for coming and watching and following, and just following and watching are still super helpful for me, so I appreciate it. So yeah, let's raid somebody. Who do we know? Do we have?
I have a suggestion.
Yes. Please.
Let's spread the madness.
Polished is currently doing a tavern talk on playing characters with mental illnesses.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yes.
It seems a bit fitting.
Yes. That seems perfect. All right.
I totally forgot they were doing it tonight, and I was like, "Oh, she's live!" Like, oh.
And
Polished is a lovely streamer. She does tavern talks every week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
Yes.
Where people just discuss a certain topic, and then she also runs games on her own channel.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and we are gonna hop over to Polish's channel, assuming that I know how to raid correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
It's okay. I always do exclamation point. I always forget.
Yeah. I think that's what I did last time, or I did raid /.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. Thanks everybody for coming.